about everybody in the league at least once. Off his glove, Hernandez barehands it and can't make the throw.
Than Alvarado is.
3-1 pitch, high, ball 4. Boy, Ryan DeSantos' ability to work that strike zone is truly a thing of beauty. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, right center field towards the gap. It carries and it drops for extra bases. In to score is Boscarino. They're going to send home DeSantos. 2-0 Toronto here in the top of the third inning.
4 times. He goes here. Pitch up. Plumpton's throw down to second is not in time. Just getting the foot in on the slide is Dos Santos. The fans are behind Garces. Here's the 3-2. Called strike 3. Castaldo can't believe it. But Garces gets out of a jam. Lefty Alvarado deals. Driven out to left field and deep. And it's going to get off the top of the wall. McGarry Doyle comes in to score. Baycats are on the board with an RBI double by Francisco Hernandez. 3-2 again. Called strike 3. Macabrota can't believe it.
Biggest at bat of the night for Barrie. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1. First pitch pops it up. On the outfield grass. It'll be the left fielder calling for it, Luca Boscarino. He'll gobble that one up for the 3rd out of the inning. 3-2. Called strike 3. Hernandez knew it. Right back to the dugout, and some brilliant pitching by Luis Florentino to get a 3-up, 3-down 8. Kicks, delivers, runner goes. Outside, the throw down, the tag. Not in time. A stolen base for Dennis DeBanning. Pakala to Mara. Shallow fly ball, center field, McGarry Doyle has it. Braden Pakala fired up as he comes off the mound. Swing and a miss, Macabrota lunging at that, couldn't connect, one away. 1 out in the 9th, pitch from Florentino on the way. On the ground, into left field for a base hit. 0-2, pitch to Hull. Drives it to right center field. It drops for a base hit. Around second is Clark. He goes to 3rd. The Baycats have runners on the corners. Oh, ready, delivers. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. Here's the pitch from Florentino. High fly ball, center field. DeBanning to his left, makes the catch, runner tags. This game is tied! Tristan Clark crosses home plate. We are tied at 2. Here's the pitch from Florentino. Inside, it goes to the backstop, and back on it is Mara. The throw, misses Florentino. Here comes Hull. The throw, he scores! Baycats win it. A wild walk-off here at Athletic Culture Stadium. Oh my!
Well, I think the locker room is fine. The guys have, some of these guys have been here before, and when you come and play baseball, you got to realize anything can happen, and the hardest inning to win is the 9th inning. So, and they realize that, and we did everything we could to set ourselves up for the win. But Barrie found a way to, squeak one out there at the end. But you know what? I think our boys are really confident. I really feel like they, we know we got good pitching. We know coming into this, our hitters are going to come alive. So, I think the boys feel great.
But it's a quick turnaround today. Is that kind of a blessing or a curse for you guys?
No, it's definitely a blessing. Tough game yesterday. We battled, both teams battled, and somebody had to lose. Unfortunately, it was us, but 24 hours later, here we are, and we're ready to go. Boys are fired up.
Here's the 0-2 pitch from Hernandez. Ball hit on the ground. Diving stop by Spencer Ross. Gets up, throws to first. What a play! And that's how the ball game starts here in Toronto. Javier, hard ground ball to 3rd. That one sneaks through. Dos Santos getting the wave home, and it gets by the left fielder Tristan Clark, and the Maple Leafs take the lead. It's 2-1. Big pitch here for Benitez. Castaldo flares one towards the outfield. This one's down for a base hit. John Javier is going to come around to score. The Toronto Maple Leafs put together some two-out magic and now lead 3-1. 3 yesterday. And now he hits a ball high in the air to left. And it is gone! Luca Boscarino with a solo shot, and he puts the Maple Leafs back up by 2.
Bro, bomb, bro. First pitch bomb. I told you, bro.
Go Leafs, go. Hey,
That's
what?
fire, bro. Yeah, bro. I hit it. I was looking for you, bro.
Turn around. Let's go. No big deal.
Justin Mara destroys this ball deep to right, and it's gone! Mara, a solo home run off his former teammate Chris Nagorski, and it's 6-3. And he hits a ball to left. He struck it pretty well, and that one's gonna go! Dan Mara, who had 2 home runs in the regular season, has crushed a ball to left in the playoffs. It's 8-3 Toronto.
It's Maraception here in the bottom half of the 6th.
2 in scoring position for the Leafs now. Javier, line drive up the middle. He's 4 for 4. He's driven in 1. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Javier will advance to second base. He is on fire. And the Leafs lead 10-3.
112 both times.
Hits this one hard as well, and it skips into the outfield. And they're going to send the runner home as well. Tyler Plumpton can't make the catch. Javier scores. That's 11-3, and both runners move up. All right, joined now by John Javier. Carlos Verdi is going to do the translations for us. John, just to get the win tonight after the way last night went, what did that mean to you guys?
No, pues primeramente le queremos dar las gracias a Dios por permitirnos ganar hoy. Fue una competencia difícil ayer porque era el mejor pitcher de ellos. García es un buen lanzador. Intentamos ganar, teníamos la victoria siempre al frente, pero al final no se pudo. Y vinimos con mayor positividad y tratar de ganarle porque sabemos que podemos.
So he said, firstly, thank God for the win tonight. They obviously knew they were facing their best guy yesterday. They had a great opportunity, had the game in hand in the 8th, obviously, and you know, basically just said they had to come back today. A lot of positivity, great approach, and they got the win, got it done.
Yeah, it felt really good. It's close to a must-win, I think, as you can have as far as the emotions go. Yesterday was deflating, to say the least, and like, you know, we didn't play great yesterday, but I thought obviously when you're, you know, a few outs away from winning the ball game, for it to turn so quickly and lose game 1 against a team like Barrie, and we had, you know, Frank Garces on the ropes there. So deflating yesterday, huge bounce back win, felt great, and yeah, it feels awesome.
La verdad es que sí. Yo tengo la certeza y la confianza en mi equipo. Nosotros tenemos un gran equipo y que siempre salimos a dar lo mejor de nosotros al terreno. Confío en mí y en lo que Dios me dio el talento para jugar este deporte.
And he said he never doubted it. He was certain that this group has what it takes to perform like that defensively, and he's obviously very confident in his own game. And he said, you know, thank God they got it done tonight.
Yeah, the only thing that changed is I threw BP today. And you can let the boys know that because I get the bats going. Yeah, honestly, nothing changed. Just yesterday, obviously, we struck out, what was like 16 or 17 times, which is just, we can't do that. We can't put that much pressure on our pitching staff and our defense, and we pitched great yesterday. Like, Willie shoved yesterday. So I think the approach was just, you know, it didn't change. It's just put more balls in play. And obviously, when you get, ask Salazzo, when I throw BP, we'll get the bats going.
You also hit a big home run in this game as well to kind of put it out of reach. I already know that you never come up to the plate trying to hit home runs, so I won't ask you that. But, you know, your brother Justin says the best feeling in the world is when you square a ball up and hit it over the fence. So what did that one feel like today?
Yeah, he's right. Feels great. And I don't hit a lot of them, so I only got a few to reminisce on, and that was, you know, that was one that I'll think about for a little bit. It's off a good friend of mine, Nagorski. Hate I had to do it to him, but you know, I had an idea what he was going to try and do in that at bat, and he knows, you know, we've played together a long time, and he knows my weaknesses, and I know what he's trying to do to me, and I sort of sold out for a pitch in, and I got one, and you know, like you said, I never try and do that. I just got my hands to it, and lucky that I had the right trajectory. So
I know Justin got a home run today too. I know he was a bit frustrated early on in the game. I don't know if you can kind of get in his head a little bit, but that seemed like that was one that kind of fired everyone up as well.
yeah, big home run for Justin. Justin, like, obviously felt terrible about last night, and you know, could see it on his face. And he came out today with energy, and he was great in BP. Took probably the best BP I've seen him take all year, and he had 5 really good at bats, or 4 really, or whatever it was. And huge bounce back game for him, and I know he wanted it, and he wanted the win today. And yeah, those are the at bats we need from him going forward for sure.
You went 4 for 4 today. Unbelievable day at the plate. How good were you feeling at the dish?
¿Cómo te sentiste bateando hoy 4x4? Seguro que bien, ¿eh?
Sí, excelentemente bien. Gracias por la oportunidad. Yo en verdad sé que podía hacer un buen trabajo y gracias a Dios lo hice. Y tú sabes, siempre que estoy ahí trato de hacer picheo que están en la zona y gracias a Dios me funcionó hoy.
So he said, you know, thank God he always looks for pitches in the zone, and today it worked for him. You know, obviously he was feeling well, he was seeing pitches, and he also saw strikes, which is important.
John, you told me before the game, you know, when you're the DH, sometimes it's a little bit hard to kind of stay engaged. Obviously you were engaged tonight. What did you do to stay locked in?
Sí, en verdad cuando uno está designado, jugando designado, no es la misma emoción que tú sientes cuando estás en el field, cuando estás jugando en el terreno. Pero yo vine así desde ayer con esa mentalidad de poder hacer un buen trabajo para poder ayudar a mi equipo a poder ganar.
And he said all it was today was really just focusing on doing what he could to help his team today, and he was able to do that. So he came with that mentality and paid off.
Que son excelentes, lo que acabo de decir, yo confío en mi equipo, yo sé el talento que ellos tienen, yo sé lo que ellos pueden dar, y hoy se demostró que nosotros tenemos lo que se necesita para, con la bendición de Dios, ser campeón este año.
And he said he never doubted it. He never doubted himself. He never doubted the hitters on this team. And he said, you know, God willing, that this team has the makings of a championship run.
How important is it for your confidence when the defense is so good behind you? I know, like, Spencer Ross made such a great play to start the game.
Claramente la defensa atrás de ti apoyándote es muy importante. You know, este primer juego de Spencer Ross en el short para comenzar el partido, eso seguro que te da mucha confianza, ¿no?
Sí, me siento confiado con Spencer en el shortstop porque ha demostrado que puede hacer un buen trabajo ahí, coge bien la bola, y yo confío en cada uno de mis compañeros que está detrás de mí en el terreno de juego.
So he said, yeah, obviously he trusts Spencer back there. He's proven that he can work very, very well at shortstop, and he trusts every single guy behind him in that field defensively.
Especially as of late. 2-2 pitch on the way, and it's hit pretty deep to right field. Keys going back, it's over the wall and gone. A leadoff home run for Ryan DeSantos. 1-0 Maple Leafs right out of the gate. Here comes the crowd behind Rosado. 3-2 pitch coming up, and it's a high fly ball deep to left field. A long way back for Clark. It is gone. Home run, Marcus Connect. Second solo shot for the Leafs today, and a 2-0 Toronto lead.
Stays put this time. Hernandez lines it into right center field. A base hit. McGarry Doyle rounding. He's going to go to third. Runners on the corners now for Barrie and 1 out. Runner goes from first. The throw down from Mara. Scooped. It gets into center field. Past Spencer Ross. McGarry Doyle scores. Brandon Hernandez to third, and Barrie's on the board.
Mara is having a very heated discussion here with home plate umpire Nick Leffler. I think that maybe making the case that he was blocked.
But Barrie on the board, it's 2-1. So scored in E2, and Josh Matlow's he's asking to check Justin Mara for some substances. It's been a theme I've heard about this the first couple games. Baycats have noticed Justin Mara possibly going to his equipment for some kind of sticky substance, but check from the umpire, and here's some barking back from Justin Mara.
Mara and Matlow now exchanging some words, and Matlow with a big grin on his face. And
back to baseball, 2-2 to Francisco Hernandez on the ground. Dives! Spencer Ross dives, can't come up with it. Hernandez scores. We are tied. On side, grounds it to second. Dan Mara scoops it up, throw on to first is in time. This inning comes to an end, but not before Barrie comes through with 4 hits. You know, in terms of this inning.
0-1 pitch from Sano. And it's hit to right field. It'll stay up for Clayton Keys, who gobbles that up for an inning-ending flyout. Maple Leafs leave the bases loaded in the 7th. Here it comes. And a foul into the glove for a 3rd strike. That'll do it. An inning-ending strikeout for Luis Florentino. Sano with the first pitch bounces up to the plate, to the backstop. A 3rd Mara brother, Adam, is a pitcher for this team as well. That one, almost same kind of pitch. Right into the dirt. Sano behind, 2-0.
I think if you're Justin Mara, you might think that those two might be intentional. Because he was staring back at Sano after that second pitch.
Seems like the Baycats are trying to get in his head just a little bit here in this ball game. He was subject to an equipment inspection, and he hits this one high and deep to right field. It's out of here. Three solo home runs by the Maple Leafs today. Dos Santos connects, and Justin Mara. Noah Hull on deck, 1 out of the 9th, showing bunt right in front of the plate. Florentino the throw, and it gets away! And they call him out at first! Did they say Johnston was off the baseline?
No, I think they're saying he interfered with the throw.
And now Josh Matlow has been tossed. I don't know where else Johnston could have gone. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Hull. The Maple Leafs take game 3 by a score of 3-2.
Oh, what a game it was for the Toronto Maple Leafs last time out. They've taken a 2-1 series lead, and now we play Game 4 here in Toronto. I'm Thomas West alongside Zach Benoit. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Barrie Baycats in this first round of the Intercounty Baseball League. And the question today is this game going to get played, Zach? I saw there Yami Sato helping to get the field set to go. There was no batting practice today for both teams. It was pouring rain up until about 20 minutes ago, but looks like we're set to go for baseball today.
There was no batting practice, not because of the rain, but because everybody was working on the field to make sure this game got in. Both of these teams have played one heck of a series. It's really been back and forth. The pitching has been immaculate. You can see it on your screen right there. The bats of the Maple Leafs, though, that's what's been the really big talking point.
Sure has. I mean, the pitching's been really good for Toronto, especially compared to what they did in the regular season. Josh Berenbaum was fantastic, but, I mean, the big swing from Justin Mara last game, boy, what a shot that was. And a guy who's had an up-and-down series, that one must have felt real good for Justin.
Yeah, and really, I mean, Mara, he has been kind of the focal point of this entire first series between Barrie and the Maple Leafs. You know, you see what he did in the first game here at Christie Pitts. He pulls the ball down the line, it's foul, and then the umpire's yelling at him saying, that's enough. Then he hits another home run later in that game. Last game out, you saw the fireworks that happened there in Barrie, I should say. But then Mara continued to just play his game, do his job, and you can see the numbers he's putting up. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. Man, he's had such an up-and-down series as well. You know, you think about back in Game 1, which now seems, you know, like a while ago here. You know, he made what it was a couple different players error on the play, but Justin Mara really took account for, you know, what happened to finish out that game when he overthrew the catcher. And then what does he do? Comes back, hits a home run at Christie Pitts, then throws the ball into center field, and one that he was really frustrated with and thought that there was interference from the batter when he threw it down. That brought in the approximate run and then the tying run after that. And then what did he do? Well, he made up for it with another home run after, you know, felt like the Barrie Baycats were starting to get in his head a little bit, and then he put that to bed right away. Before the game, I caught up with Justin.
All right,
Joined now by Justin Marr from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Justin, I know it's been an up and down series for you. Just the 2 home runs in the last 2 games. You know, I talked to your brother. He was saying, you know, you were feeling a little bit bad about what happened in Game 1, but just to come back in the next 2 games and hit a couple home runs, that must have felt good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you can help your team, it feels good. And having said that, anytime you hurt your team, it really bothers you. For me, that error in the last inning, errors are part of the game. The timing's tough for sure, but I definitely took a lot of weight of that and felt like I let the team down. And I'm happy that in the next few games that I did what I did to help us secure victories.
You know, I know you're a guy that likes to really come up big when the situation's the biggest. That he's kind of been turned up a little bit in this series as well. Do you find that's something that kind of helps you out at the plate?
For sure. I think anyone that gets into sports, enjoys that feeling that when it's playoffs or when the lights are the brightest, they want to show up. And, anyone that, like I said, plays at a high level, they really thrive off that feeling. And I feel like I'm someone that enjoys that moment and looks forward to being put in those situations where I can succeed and again, help my team win.
Frank Garces on the mound tonight. You and a lot of the other guys that, played pro, minor league baseball, that kind of stuff, seem to hit good pitching well. What is it about, guys like you who played in the minor leagues that, seem to come up well against, high velocity and good pitching?
Yeah, it's just something we're used to, even when I made the transition into this league, I had a hard time with the slower stuff because you're so used to hitting some higher velocity, some good pitches. So, when you get in the playoffs, you're going to see nothing but the best from teams. And I think a lot of guys on our team are some veteran guys that played at a really high level. Having said that, Garces is really good. As much as we think we can get to him, he's got some really good stuff, and we got to bear down today and have really good at bats for sure.
Yeah, with that in mind, what kind of approach do you want to see you and your teammates come up with at the plate?
I think make him throw a lot of pitches. I know his first outing, I think he threw over 130 pitches, and just make him work the zone. It's a little bit different ballpark here, different mound. I think the wind's blowing out today. He's going to be working around the zone. Make him throw a lot of pitches and hopefully try and get him out of the game early for sure.
All right, thanks, Justin.
You're welcome.
Pitch from Florentino. Inside, it goes to the backstop. And back on it is Mara. The throw. Misses Florentino. Here comes Hall. The throw. He scores! Baycats win it.
So that might have been a bit closer than it appeared. 3-2 pitch. Oh, he's going to have to settle for a single as he slashes it into the outfield. Justin Mara, couple good swings. Nobody out here in the second. Mara goes, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Justin Mara swipes the bag. And now, oh no, I'm almost wondering if Brandon or Francisco may have told Justin Mara to go back to the first base, that it was a foul ball.
Not a baseball player.
Justin Mara destroys this ball deep to right, and it's gone! Mara, a solo home run off his former teammate Chris Nagorski, and it's 6-3.
Yeah, big home run for Justin. Justin, obviously felt terrible about last night, and could see it on his face. And he came out today with energy, and he was great in BP. Took probably the best BP I've seen him take all year, and he had 5 really good at bats, or 4 really, or whatever it was. And huge bounce back game for him, and I know he wanted it.
Runner goes for first. The throw down from Mara. Scooped. It gets into center field. Passes it back to Ross. McGarry Doyle scores.
That maybe making the case that he was blocked.
So scored in E2, and Josh Matlow's he's asking to check Justin Mara for some substances.
This ball game is subject to an equipment inspection, and he hits this one high and deep to right field. It's out of here. Three solo home runs by the Maple Leafs today. DeSantos connects and
Well, what an up and down series it's been for Justin Mara, but I mean, for all the things that he feels like he could have done better, man, he's also gone out and won the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Definitely one time. He certainly won the game last game, and the big home run he had before that as well. And I love this quote from his brother Dan that he had after that last game. He was talking about the home run. He said, Justin obviously felt terrible about game one. You could see it on his face. He's referring to the throwing error at the end of the game. He said he came out with energy. He took probably the best BP I've seen all year, and he really wanted it. That's what he said about the home run that Justin Mara hit, which was such a big shot. It made it 6-3 at the time back in game 2 last time we were here. And, Justin Mara is such a professional, right? When things don't go his way, he takes it with, he definitely doesn't feel good about it. He's such a team guy, but, he knows he just has to come out the next day and shake it off.
Yeah, and I said it, on the mic before game 2 happened, was there kind of seemed to be the vibe of around the team of, you know what, game 1, it happened, but we're not going to let that determine the entire series, and that's exactly what they did, and I think Dan said it perfectly about his brother Justin Mara. Justin took a lot of that weight. You heard it in the interview there. He didn't feel comfortable about how it happened. He felt like it was his fault, and he's kind of working towards it now, and he's been playing some of the best baseball we've seen him play in I don't know how long. So it's a really lovely thing.
So I was talking to Justin before the game, and I thought this was really funny. There was a lot of players thinking like, oh man, Luis Florentino really had to throw a lot of pitches in game 1, and that was the game that the Maple Leafs ended up losing. And they were thinking, well, usually you don't bring your closer in in the 8th inning, right? Well, what did the Maple Leafs do last game? They brought their closer in the 7th inning. And Luis Florentino this time said, you know what? I just got to take what I'm given, threw a whole bunch of strikes, ended up striking out 5 batters, did not give up a hit. The Maple Leafs do not win this game if it wasn't for Luis Florentino in game 3.
Yeah, and I think Luis Florentino understands the kind of pitcher that he is, and that first outing in game 1, I really don't think that showed the kind of pitcher that he knows he can be. He's a hard thrower, he's a strike thrower, and he kind of just attacks hitters. And it seemed in game 1, he was trying to work around some hitters, trying to, get away from his game, not pitch to his strength. He was trying to pick corners, but really, as long as he's pumping in that fastball, it is tough for some of these hitters to catch up to it. And I think if he can kind of continue to stay on that path of just play your game, don't change anything about it, I think he's going to have a really, really good rest of the playoffs.
The Maple Leafs knew that their pitching was going to have to be a lot better in the playoffs than it was in the regular season. It has been way better in the playoffs than it's been in the regular season. How about what Josh Berenbaum did last game? All the starters for the Toronto Maple Leafs have been fantastic. Berenbaum comes out, gives you 7 1/3 innings of just sparkling baseball and gives his team a chance.
Yeah, I've been saying it all year. Josh Berenbaum has to be one of my favorite pitchers on this team. And, he doesn't have the flashy stuff like you'd see out of, say, a Will Hennis Alvarado or Franklin Hernandez, but he is nitty and gritty. Every time he goes out there, it doesn't matter what happens on the mound, he has that same kind of calm mentality where he's just going to continue to attack hitters. And you saw that last time out in hostile territory up there in Barrie. He just pitched his game, and he had an excellent, excellent game.
So John Javier has been putting in a lot of work behind the scenes for the Toronto Maple Leafs to kind of get himself ready. I think he's been working out at BDG a little bit with some of the other players on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, man, it is showing that work that John Javier is putting in. Because, sure, he ended the season a little bit slowly, but he's come into this postseason, and he's just been on fire. He's 6 for 12 in the series. He's driven in 5 runs. He's got an extra base hit. He nearly blew the game open in Barrie, but, unfortunately for the Maple Leafs, there's a line out, and they'd have to wait for Justin Mara to come out and be the hero. But this is who the Maple Leafs wanted to see. This is the version of John Javier the Maple Leafs wanted to see.
And I think John Javier, he's one of those players that he's going to continue to grow. I've talked about it numerous times in the playoffs, but also towards the end of the regular season, is that when he first joined the team, he was a player coming up that he just wanted to hit the ball. Didn't care where it was, didn't care what the count was. He was just going to go up there swinging. As the season's progressed, as he's gotten a little bit more mature, you can kind of see that his at-bats, he's working counts. He's not chasing that outside pitch, but he's still doing damage because he has great hand-eye coordination, and he gets that bat through the plane of the zone for so long. He's a guy that if he continues to mature into a really good hitter, it's going to be dangerous if the Leafs continue this playoff run.
John Javier had 4 hits. He was 4 for 4 last time the Maple Leafs played here at Christie Pitts. After the game, I caught up with him. All right, joined now by John Javier. Carlos Verdi is going to do the translations for us. John, just to get the win tonight after the way last night went, what did that mean to you guys?
Pues después de una derrota muy difícil ayer en Barrie, esta victoria esta noche en frente de la afición, ¿qué significa para el grupo?
No, pues primeramente le queremos dar las gracias a Dios por permitirnos ganar hoy. Fue una competencia difícil ayer porque era el mejor pitcher de ellos. García es un buen lanzador. Intentamos ganar, teníamos la victoria siempre al frente, pero al final no se pudo. Y vinimos con mayor positividad y tratar de ganarle porque sabemos que podemos.
So he said, firstly, thank God for the win tonight. They obviously knew they were facing their best guy yesterday. They had a great opportunity, had the game in hand in the 8th, obviously, and you know, basically just said they had to come back today. A lot of positivity, great approach, and they got the win, got it done.
You went 4 for 4 today. Unbelievable day at the plate. How good were you feeling at the dish?
¿Cómo te sentiste bateando hoy 4x4? Seguro que bien, ¿eh?
Sí, excelentemente bien. Gracias por la oportunidad. Yo en verdad sé que podía hacer un buen trabajo y gracias a Dios lo hice. Y usted sabe, siempre que estoy ahí trato de hacer picheo que están en la zona y gracias a Dios me funcionó hoy.
So he said, you know, thank God he always looks for pitches in the zone, and today it worked for him. You know, obviously he was feeling well, he was seeing pitches, and he also saw strikes, which is important.
John, you told me before the game, you know, when you're the DH, sometimes it's a little bit hard to kind of stay engaged. Obviously you were engaged tonight. What did you do to stay locked in?
Yeah, seguro que cuando no estás defendiendo en el campo podría ser complicado mantenerse enfocado en el partido, pero hoy seguro que no te faltaba enfocado hoy, ¿eh?
Sí, en verdad cuando uno está designado, jugando designado, no es la misma emoción que tú sientes cuando estás en el field, cuando estás jugando en el terreno. Pero yo vine así desde ayer con esa mentalidad de poder hacer un buen trabajo para poder ayudar a mi equipo a poder ganar.
And he said all it was today was really just focusing on doing what he could to help his team today, and he was able to do that. So he came with that mentality and paid off.
John, just to get the win tonight, does it feel like this is kind of a momentum booster for your team going into Sunday?
Seguro que ese cambia alguna cosa para ustedes entrando al tercer partido de domingo, una gran victoria para ustedes.
Sí, vamos a seguir como siempre haciendo mejor el trabajo, seguir con la mentalidad que tenemos y con Dios mediante vamos por la victoria.
So he said what they have to do is they have to keep the same mentality, the same approach, and God willing, they'll keep going.
All right, John, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Toronto Maple Leafs and Barrie Baycats Game 4. Who would have known that the 7 seed would push this 2-seeded Barrie Baycats to the brink of eliminations at home here at Christie Pitts? Thomas West here alongside Zach Benoit. Wilhenis Alvarado on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And really the story of this series has been the difference between the two ballparks. The Toronto Maple Leafs, if you look at the disparity between their home and road record, so much difference between the two ballparks this season. This is Wilhenis Alvarado in his career playing against the Barrie Baycats. And you can see, pretty interesting to see the difference between him at home, which is this is a very hitter-friendly ballpark, and in Barrie.
I think the biggest thing that stands out for me is that strikeout number in 3 games for both sides. 31 strikeouts to 3 walks. And I mean, I don't think people at home understand those are elite numbers. You know, if he's able to do that in a hitter-friendly ballpark in 18 2/3 innings too, that speaks volumes about the kind of pitcher that he is. And this is the pitcher we know he can be. He showed it in game number 1. He was a guy that a couple of years ago won that ERA crown in the Intercounty Baseball League, and it was because he dominated with that off-speed pitch. Thomas, I think he has finally found it here, and he's looking like Wilhenis of old.
Yeah, you couple of years ago, led the Intercounty Baseball League in ERA at an ERA around 2. He's just been fantastic in the playoffs so far. Had a really good game last time out in Barrie. A game that the Toronto Maple Leafs ended up losing, but they were going up against Frank Garces, and Wellhenis Alvarado is going to have to keep pace with maybe the best pitcher in the Intercounty Baseball League this season in Frank Garces. So this is going to be a great pitching duel. Here's the first one from Wellhenis Alvarado to Noel McGarry-Doyle, who is squaring to bunt. That has Ryan Dos Santos scampering in from third base.
You know, obviously, Barrie, they're a team that they're the reigning champions. They've been playing great baseball all year long. But, you know, for the first time this series, they're on their back foot a little bit here. Toronto's been so good.
McGarry-Doyle bunts right to Dos Santos, throws to first in plenty of time, and that's out number 1.
Really interesting to see him go back to the bunt, especially with how fast you saw Dos Santos crash in on the first one. The second one was there, and he was basically already halfway in.
So now it's Brandon Hernandez who comes to the dish. Hitting .273 in this series. He's got 3 hits and 11 at-bats.
Brandon Hernandez has just been a firecracker for the side of the Barrie Baycats, and I mean not only with his bat, but his defense. We talk about it numerously. His arm might be one of the best in the Intercounty Baseball League.
Got his brother Francisco waiting on deck, who will get an at-bat as well. Here's the 0-1. Check swing, and he went around, says the home plate umpire.
And that's that breaking ball I've been talking about. If Wellhenis Alvarado can continue to snap off that breaking ball all night, it's going to be another good start for him. And when he's in control of that pitch, you'll see it. He gets into a flow state, and it kind of feels like everything is working together.
The 0-2. Or sorry, the 1-1. Excuse me. Now it's 1-2. Alvarado fantastic in his first start. 6 innings, had 7 strikeouts against the Barrie Baycats in game 1, and this one's fouled back. Well, if the Baycats can find a way to foul off that big breaking ball from Wellhenis Alvarado and try and stay on the fastball, that seems like it would be the approach that might give them the most success today.
Go, let's go.
The 1-2. Strike 3 called on the inside corner, and that's out number 2.
And you saw it in that at-bat, those last 2 pitches. The second last one, Hernandez took that defensive swing. It wasn't anything clear, and then that last pitch there, he gets jammed on the high fastball where he thinks it's going to be that breaking ball where he has to kind of defensive swing again, but he doesn't see the break, and the fastball just ties him up completely.
Good start for Alvarado and the Maple Leafs. Now Francisco Hernandez to the dish. Takes the ball, it's just outside. The 1-0. Strike on the inner half.
That is just a beautiful pitch. You can see Hernandez just biting backwards. If you're Alvarado, just keep these hitters guessing like you've been doing.
The 1-1 outside. The 1-2. Owen misses outside too. That time it was the slider. That's the big pitch for Alvarado if he can snap it off well.
And it's tough to do, especially against righties, is that backdoor slider, because if you let it hang, it's just basically a flat fastball to these right-handed hitters.
3-1. Line drive up the middle, and that one's going to drop in center field for a base hit, fielded by Dennis DeBanning. Boy, you can see that wet grass out there in center field really slowing down the baseball. Could be something that outfielders and batters have to contend with here today.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that as well to you when we saw that drop, is you got to watch that the wet grass on the field in the outfield there. The ball completely dies down. So if you're a base runner, pay attention to that. Take an extra 90 feet maybe if you're able to.
Now it's Nolan Macabrota who comes to the dish, still looking for his first hit of the series. He takes way outside. I was talking to Justin Mara about Wilhelmus Alvarado. This is a little bit later in the season, still when Alvarado was kind of trying to find his form early in the season. And the word that Justin Mara used to describe how he wants Alvarado to throw that slider is with conviction. That's what he wants him to do. He said when he's throwing that slider with conviction, that's when he's had a lot of success with it. Here's the 1-0. A strike. That one,
right there.
That one he threw with conviction. He painted it right at the bottom of the zone.
It is a glorious pitch to watch, and I mean, you can see it from the cameras at home. We can see it from the top of the hill. How much break that slider actually has.
The 1-1 to Macabrota. Swing and a miss.
I think he's tunneling his two pitches really well right now, because that did not look like a comfortable swing on a Macabrota. The one base hit he gave up to Hernandez, it wasn't that hard of a hit. It was kind of a blooper in his center field. Nobody looks like they've really had a comfortable at-bat against Alvarado so far.
Well, Hunnish trying to get through the top of the first. Weak tapper on the ground to third, picked up by Dos Santos, throws to first. In time, he got him. Man, he had to contend with that wet grass. You could see the ball kind of slipped out of his glove. He still was able to palm that one over to first base. And a good first inning for Alvarado and the Maple Leafs, who have the Barrie Baycats on the brink of elimination. But Frank Garces coming out, one of the better pitchers in the IBL this year, trying to shut the door on the Maple Leafs. Oh, Frank Garces on the mound for the Barrie Baycats has not pitched much at all for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's take a look at the splits between Barrie and Toronto. We did it for Wilhelmus Alvarado, and this is the one where I think it's really interesting. Garces still has great numbers here in Toronto, but man, he's pitched way better in Barrie than here at Christie Pitts.
Well, look at the discrepancy, right? 9 games against Toronto at home and only 2 here. But granted, look at that ERA. 5 runs. 85 strikeouts to 16 walks, but the numbers on the road, too, are really good. The earned runs, sure, they're a little bit skewed, but 17 strikeouts to no walks is elite numbers. Frank Garces, he was fantastic in game number 1 against the Maple Leafs. He really shut them down. What was it, 16, 17 strikeouts he had? And they'll look for another performance out of him like that today here.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. Had 15 strikeouts back in game 1. You know, I talked to some of the veteran guys like Justin Mara, who always seem to come up and hit good pitching really well. He said, you know, he feels like he can hit Frank Garces, but he's like, you know what? Some of that is kind of just an illusion. He is a really tough pitcher, and the Maple Leafs know they're in tough here today. So Ryan Dos Santos will lead things off. First pitch from Garces.
They talk about, you know, hitting good pitching. Dos Santos in the last game wasted no time. Lead-off homer.
There's a strike, and the count's 1-1. Garces threw 133 pitches back in game 1. The 1-1 pitch. A breaking ball just misses.
Keen eye at the plate here. Dos Santos knows his zone better than anybody.
The 1-2. Or the 2-1, I should say. Now 3-1 on Ryan Dos Santos. He's already walked 6 times in the playoffs.
And you can see it. He knows, too. He shakes his head saying, nope, that missed. No, that's low.
Ball 4. Dos Santos draws a leadoff walk.
Well, death taxes Dos Santos another walk in the playoffs. I mean, it's tough when you have a leadoff hitter that's able to get on base as often as Dos Santos does. You know, it is kind of hell for starting pitching because, you know, you want to pitch around him, you want him to chase, but he's not going to chase.
Javier, Castaldo, Marcus Connect, then Justin Marr, Dennis Devanning, Spencer Ross, Dan Marr, and Luca Boscarino round out the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs today.
How good has the bottom half of that lineup been in the playoffs? I mean, Dan Marr, Luca Boscarino, those two guys just flipping the order. And can't forget about Spencer Ross down there, too.
11 runs against the Barrie Baycats back in game 2 against this tough pitching of Barrie. John Javier, who's been red hot in the playoffs. Here's the 1-1. Javier takes a strike on the outer half.
And this is where we start to see Javier mature a little bit more. You know, he knows his zone. He's starting to learn just to kind of protect swings at times.
Behind in the count now is John Javier. The 1-2, just inside. Two and two now on the young Maple Leaf. And he swings and misses. Strike 3. Garces gets out number 1.
Yeah, Javier, I mean, Garces, he just kind of overpowers him a little bit there with that high fastball. Makes it a tough at-bat for him. And one thing I don't think we talked about to start, though, I mentioned, you know, Garces was 17 strikeouts, no walks here at Dominico Field. That was his first walk.
Yeah, good point. Also, just a very small sample size. Hasn't pitched much at all here. You know, both Wellenius Alvarado and Frank Garces were fantastic in game 1, but this is a whole new ball game. You heard Justin Marr talk about, you know, this is much different for these pitchers. The mound in Barrie and the mound in Toronto is drastically different between the two parks, and might be a battle of who handles it better, which starting pitcher. Dos Santos goes, pitch in the dirt, and he'll swipe second base.
Picked a great pitch to go on. It was a low slider that the back catcher, Johnston, had to pick out of the ground, and he tried to get it to transfer. Couldn't get the transfer there. Good steal there for Dos Santos.
Andrew Johnston still doing the catching here after Tyler Plumpton, the everyday catcher for the Barrie Baycats, was hit by a pitch on his wrist back in game 2. Runner in scoring position from the guy who led the Maple Leafs in the regular season in RBIs, Jordan Castaldo, and now he takes a strike. And it's 1-2.
You can see here Garces is just going away here to Castaldo, and I don't mind that if you're Frank Garces. You know Jordan Castaldo has power to every field, and probably, you know, I say this with a grain of salt, his weakest part is the outside half, but he can still hit one the other way. We've seen him do it multiple times.
Here's the 1-2. In the dirt, Dos Santos holds his ground at second base.
It's a big block behind the plate by Johnston right there. Gets the glove to it, and if that gets by with Dos Santos' speed, he's standing at third.
Just to add to the lore of this mound here at Christie Pitts, it also has had a ton of work done on it before the game. Everyone is out trying to, you know, fix it from all the water that came pouring down right before this game started. Here's the 2-2. Castaldo takes just outside. Full count now.
This is just a veteran at-bat from a really good hitter.
Yeah, two players, Garces and Castaldo, that have faced each other for a long time and even been teammates back in 2018 when Barrie Baycats won their 5th consecutive championship. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It's Garces who wins the battle, and he's fired up about it as well. That's out number 2.
That's a really big strikeout. And again, it's the same pitch that he got Javier to swing on. that high elevated fastball where he gets them to chase, and it's tough to make contact because it's one of those pitches that just continues to rise.
Oh, now Marcus Connect will be tasked with trying to drive this runner in with 2 outs in the inning. Boy, did he ever put a good swing on the baseball last game. One of the Maple Leafs' 3 solo home runs. Made it 2-0 at the time for Toronto. Gave them a lot of confidence in that ball game. Connect takes low ball 1.
I was just say, still ridiculous to think about in Barrie hitting 3 solo home runs. That's not something you see all the time. It's Barrie, we know it as a very pitcher-friendly ballpark, and 3 home runs is what really won the Maple Leafs the game.
1-0 here on Marcus. Takes outside. Connect ahead in the count 2-0. He's 3 for 13 in the playoffs with a home run. Justin Mara, who's been the red-hot bat for the Maple Leafs, is on deck. Big swing by Connect, but he cuts through it. Marcus Connect, the righty bat, facing the lefty Frank Garces. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. 2-2 now.
It looked like he took a little bit off there. It was the same placement as the fastball, but that time just drops down a little bit and kind of fools Connect, but still puts a good swing.
2-2 on Marcus Connect. Runner in scoring position is Ryan Dos Santos. Great speed at second base. A single will most likely cash him in. The lefty deals. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Johnston. Frank Garces uses the strikeout to get himself out of the first inning, and the Maple Leafs strand a runner in scoring possession to the second we go here in Toronto. And back here at Dominico Field, Tristan Clark leading things off for the Barrie Baycats, facing Wilhelmus Alvarado, who looked pretty good in his first inning of work.
Oh, he looks sensational. And again, it's that off-speed pitch. He has that working right now, and he keeps that up. It's going to be a really good game for Wilhelmus.
Clark takes a big cut and rips the first pitch foul back behind home plate. Tristan Clark is 3 for 11 in the series. That's good for a .272 batting average. Here's the 0-1. 1-1 now on Tristan Clark. Clark skies this one in the air to medium depth right field. This is Marcus Connect, who's wavering under it and then makes the catch, and that is the first out of the inning. This is the defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's Marcus Connect in right. In center is Dennis Devanning. Luca Boscarino is in left. Ryan Dos Santos, who's already had to make 2 plays in this ball game at third base. Spencer Ross at short. Dan Mara at second. Jordan Castaldo over there at first base. Justin Mara doing the catching today for the Maple Leafs. John Javier in that DH role. Designated hitter, and he's been maybe the best hitter on the Maple Leafs in this series.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for much more for John Javier and what he's done in his first Intercounty Baseball League playoffs.
Same story for Noah Hull in this series, 3 for 11. The 0-1 pitch hit on the ground to first. Castaldo bobbles it, now sprints to first base and gets there in time. Noah Hull and Castaldo kind of had a bit of a collision. Hull was kind of, pointing at Castaldo saying, sorry, my bad, but not really much he could do. Castaldo knew he was just going to have to go and stand right in the base path there eventually, just behind first base. Took a little bit of a bump, but it looks like both players are okay, and that's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and Castaldo immediately turned and said, hey, don't worry about it. I understand. Yeah. It's a baseball play.
Clayton Keys now takes outside. There has been a little bit of animosity in this series. There's a little bit in the regular season as well. We saw the benches clear once here at Christie Pitts. Josh Matlow and Justin Mara were going back and forth a little bit back in Game 3. There's the 1-0, fouled off by Keys. But for the most part, it has been pretty calm, cool, collected, I would say. The games themselves have not been. They have been wild. This has been a great series so far in terms of entertainment.
Yeah, if you like pitching, defense, and timely hitting, this has been the series to watch.
Yeah. The 1-1 to Keys. He hits one on the ground to third. Third play for Ryan Dos Santos, and he throws it high, but Castaldo, who had to come off the bag, was able to put a relatively easy tag down on Keys. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Wilhenis Alvarado, who has been efficient through his first couple innings, just over the 20 pitch mark through 2. Well, back here at Dominico Field, as we take a look at the playoff OPS leaders, you can see the Toronto Maple Leafs pretty decent, right around mid-pack in terms of the OPS leaders in the IBL right now for teams, but it's the Barrie Baycats who really need to get the bats going if they want to come back in this series.
Yeah, it's just been the pitching for the Toronto Maple Leafs that has just absolutely shut down this Barrie lineup, a lineup that was fairly good all season long, and so far here they just haven't been able to get the bats back up to life.
OPS is your on-base percentage plus your slugging percentage, and Justin Mara, boy, he's been really helping out the slugging percentage in the playoffs for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Home runs in his last 2 games, won the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs on the offensive side of things. There were a lot of factors that went into that game, but Justin Mara's go-ahead solo home run late in the ball game, ended up being the difference maker. Hit that one off of Carlos Sano and kind of just sparked the conversation that we had before the game about Justin Mara and the guys who have played in the minor leagues, how good they are at hitting good pitching. Carlos Sano, fantastic pitcher, the best guy out of the bullpen for Barrie Baycats, and Frank Garces on the side of the Barrie, who's had that pro experience as well. And Justin Mara said he doesn't feel bad against Garces, although Garces did get him back in game 1. Also talked to Justin about what he wants the approach for the Maple Leafs to look like today. He says he wants him and his teammates to make Garces throw pitches. Strike 3 call. Justin Mara takes a nasty breaking ball from Garces, and that's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Garces, I mean, he is a fantastic pitcher, and only showed in the first inning, 3 up, 3 down of strikeouts, and he starts off the second inning how he ends the first. Truthfully, he's been so good.
Now it's Dennis DeBanning. He hits the first pitch in the air towards center field, and this is Francisco Hernandez, who comes over and makes the catch. That's the second out. So that was a first pitch swing there from Dennis DeBanning. The reason that Justin Mara wanted the Maple Leafs to make Garces throw pitches is that it wasn't too long ago that he threw 133 of them. He's betting that Frank Garces will not have as much success as he had if he gets that deep into his pitch count. And, we'll see what the approach is here for the Maple Leafs. But if there's one thing that they thought they did well against Garces, which they didn't do a ton well in game 1 against Garces, it was make him throw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, and they got to get back to that right here. He's only thrown, now it would be 27 pitches through an inning and 2/3. Now, they're making him work, but, he pitched 130, and he still went deep into the ball game.
Spencer Ross at the dish now. Takes the first 2 pitches, and the count's 1-1. Spencer Ross still trying to kind of get it going offensively. Just 1 for 8 to start out his playoffs, but he has walked a couple times. Hit .257 in the regular season. Ross takes another close pitch, but he's ahead in the count, 2-1. Garces about to throw pitch number 30 of this ball game so far. And he quick pitches and just misses.
Interesting. Haven't really seen that much out of Frank Garces tonight, but he decides to go with the little slide step.
The 3-1. Fouled off. Pretty good rip at that one from Spencer Ross. It's turned into kind of a nice evening here at Christie Pitts. It's certainly not warm. It's about 17 degrees.
Great sweater weather.
Great. Yeah, it's pretty good sweater weather, and just hoping that the rain holds off. There's a lot of cloud cover and little fronts coming through the area, but according to the radar, it looks like we're gonna be okay, but they're gonna just miss Christie Pitts. This field has already taken a lot of water today.
And a lot of work.
The 3-2. Ross hits this one in the air towards the gap, but coming over and making the catch is Clayton Keys. And that is the third out of the inning. So Frank Garces has a pretty neat and tidy first 2 innings of work, just over the 30 pitch count, and we're still tied at 0 here in Toronto. That was a great outing for Wilhennis Alvarado. Back in game 1 against the Barrie Baycats, needed just 99 pitches to get through 6 innings of work. Just the 4 hits, only allowed a single run, and gave the Maple Leafs a sparkling chance to win against Frank Garces back in game 1.
Yeah, and we always talk about Wilhennis Alvarado. The last couple of seasons, he's gotten better as the years been going. And, you know, we saw him pitch really well in the playoffs last year. He did it as well in his first season. But we're seeing it here again where he continues to get the work in, he gets comfortable, gets his footing in the IBL every year, and that's when he starts getting better. And right now, I think we're seeing some of the best baseball out of Wilhennis Alvarado.
Yeah, at one point this season, Wilhennis Alvarado is about midway through the season, had an ERA of 8.14. By the end of the season and over his next 5 starts, he was able to lower that to an ERA of 5.73, and then came out and, you know, just kind of kept that trend going of getting better and better in game 1 of the playoffs. Here's Andrew Johnston to lead things off, the catcher for Barrie, and he takes a breaking ball and a good one in there for strike 1.
And I'll continue to say it's going to be really interesting to see how he attacks these right-handed hitters. I think that's the biggest story right now in this game. You know, lefties are going to have a little bit of trouble, but it's all about the right-handed hitters.
Little tapper back to the mound. Alvarado fields it, throws off his back foot, but his throw is going to pull Jordan Costello off the bag, and Andrew Johnston will reach first base.
I think Alvarado thought he had to rush that, but, you know, he could have planted his feet a little bit. Johnston, he was hustling out of the box.
Now Wilhennis Alvarado, the former Dunedin Blue Jay back in the 2022 season. After he was playing in the
former Fisher Cat. Where did he get that?
No, I think he made it as high as single A with the Dunedin Blue Jays, but was in the Blue Jays organization for a couple of seasons. Played a little bit in the Florida Complex League, Dominican Summer League, the Gulf Coast League back in 2019. That's where he started his professional career. 1-0 here on the former Maple Leaf, Adam Odd. Alvarado misses and now behind in the count, 2-0. Andrew Johnston reaching on an infield single there, picks up his first hit of the playoffs since relieving Tyler Plumpton back in game 2. Strike there to Odd. Good comeback pitch there from Alvarado. Put it in a good spot, 2-1 now.
Yeah, you never want to wish injuries on a player, and obviously seeing hoping that the injury doesn't keep him out too long.
The 1-2. Odd fouls that one off. I think that one accidentally hit his bat on the way through. That is very fortunate for Wilhennis Alvarado and the Maple Leafs as he missed high with that pitch, and now it's 2-2. You got to shake it off here if you're the Barrie Baycats third baseman and continue to battle, but you got to know one of these next 2 pitches is going to be that nasty slider from Alvarado. Here's the 2-2. Fastball fouled off. Odd was late. You could tell he was protecting for that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, and you know, it could have been that. It could also just be the reason of he can't see it out of the hand really well. Alvarado throws, the ball's breaking down just like a fastball, so you can't pick it up with the spin. You got to be really, really paying attention.
Here's the 2-2. Slider, low. Mara wanted it. He was getting up, ready to fire that ball. Well, actually, I probably wouldn't fire it anywhere with the runner on first base, but he definitely wanted the call.
Maybe I'm just going to say it missed low. Just looking here at the YouTube replay.
Mm-hmm. Full count on Odd. Foul tips one off of Mara, and oh, that one hurt Justin Mara. He goes down in a heap right away. So This is obviously quite concerning for the Maple Leafs. They're going to give him a moment here to see if he can shake this one off. But you also got to realize the catching situation is kind of interesting for Toronto. Luca Boscarino would likely be the guy that would come in for Justin Mara, a guy we haven't seen catch for the Maple Leafs yet, because the DH is John Javier. He's been the primary backup catcher this season.
Squarely hit him right on the knee. And, you know, he has the protection there, but it's still not a fun feeling as a back catcher. You just take it square off the knee.
Yep. But he did that did hit the knee pad, so presumably Justin Mara will be okay after a bit of a stinger. He's gonna hang in there, but certainly that one did not feel good. Another 3-2 pitch for Adam Auden. It's a big one. And it is inside ball 4. Alvarado missed inside with that slider, and this is where things start to get interesting. The Barrie Baycats have a couple runners on base here, but there's nobody out in the inning.
Interesting to say the least, because you don't know, top of the order up, are you just going to let them swing away, or are you just trying to go to manufacture a run here, say possibly with a bunt? You can see Dos Santos, he's playing about 45-degree angle.
Gary Doyle, great speed. He's the leadoff hitter for the Baycats. And he's swinging away, and he swings through the first pitch from Alvarado.
Yeah, look, if I would be a betting man, I would think that this top of the order, they have just, the free range to swing away here in this scenario.
Yeah, he's hitting 308 in the series. He's been a really good hitter. He's got a hit in every single game this series. The 0-1, that one misses. Mara keeps it in front.
Big time pick by Justin Mara right there, and obviously he's probably still in a little bit of pain after taking the stinger off the knee, but he's still back there fighting.
Struck out twice against Josh Berenbaum last game. That was Noel McGarry-Doyle. That was the first time they got McGarry-Doyle to strike out all series. The 1-1. McGarry-Doyle takes a strike right at the knees.
It would be interesting, you were mentioning, if Mara had to come out of this ball game or just, out of back catching and you want to keep his bat in the lineup, you have the pieces to play a little bit of, Maple Leaf Jenga here, move everybody around.
Here's the 1-2. Grounded foul.
See there, McGarry-Doyle chopped his swing down in half. He just wanted to make contact, stay alive here in this at-bat.
Count level at 2-2 for the former NAIA player and McGarry-Doyle. Or 1-2, I should say. Here's the pitch from Alvarado. Foul tipped into the glove of Justin Mara. He got him.
And this is the difference of Wilhelmus Alvarado right now than the Wilhelmus Alvarado we saw to start the season. At the start of the season, he'd have a situation like this where the first two get on, and he would try to forcefully pitch his way out of it. Here, he understands, just go with the flow, continue to do what I'm doing. I'm throwing a good game. And he stays calm, cool, and collective, and he gets the #1 batter out.
Big out. A ground ball would do wonders for the Maple Leafs here. Brandon Hernandez at the dish, and he fouls the first pitch back, and he was right on time for that one.
It's going to be a hard double play to turn Hernandez. He has wheels out of the box. So if you're turning a double play, you got to make sure it is picture perfect.
Alvarado looks in, gets his sign. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Sharp breaking ball, but a missed outside.
I think that one Hernandez saw very well out of the hand of Alvarado because immediately he was shaking his head saying no. Curious to see here, if you're Wilhelmus, do you have enough confidence to go with the backdoor slider?
1-1. Fouled off to the left. Brandon Hernandez shaking his head after taking that pitch kind of gives you a little glimpse into the game plan for the Barrie Baycats as well. That would suggest that they're sitting on fastballs. Well, Hennis ahead in the count, 1-2. And how did Hernandez get to that pitch?
He went with the jammer, the inside fastball.
Wow, you got to realize how quick your hands have to be to get to that pitch, because he got it off of not necessarily the barrel of the bat, but he got it off the middle of the bat. He was just able to have that quick twitch and foul it off. Here's the 1-2. Inside, and it hit him. Went a little too far inside that time on Brandon Hernandez, who looks back at Justin Mara. And now you can feel the tensions rise a little bit. Brandon Hernandez did not like the way that felt.
Yeah, you can understand what Will Hennis was trying to do there. With the pitch before, he was trying to jam him because Hernandez was sitting anything over the outside of the plate. And, everyone knows he has the damage to take an inside pitch like that. But that was a big fastball in the inside half that just caught him right on the shoulder.
So Brandon Hernandez now getting looked at as that pitch caught him up high, and
either on his elbow or on his wrist when he turned. I thought it caught him on the shoulder actually, but it looks like it got more of the bone.
So he's going to stay in the game, but that's the throwing arm of the Barrie Baycats shortstop, and that throwing arm that's been so good for them all season long. So hopefully he's able to shake that one off. But this is a huge spot here for the Baycats. Francisco Hernandez at the dish now, takes inside, and Alvarado is going to have to stay in the strike zone here. Already fallen behind Hernandez in the count. He's going to have to use that fastball a little more in this at-bat.
Yeah, it looks like it is the elbow of Hernandez on first. Still trying to shake it off.
There's the 1-0. Oh, he went back to the breaking ball, and that was a perfectly placed one.
I like that a lot because you put it into the mind of Francisco Hernandez, if needed, I can go to the well with that breaking ball, and you have it in the mind now.
1-1. Hernandez gets jammed and fouls it off. Boy, and think about the stakes of this situation. Nowhere to put the batter. Alvarado's just hit somebody, and he's able to come back with 2 pitches after falling behind 1-0 like that. That takes some real guts right there on the mound from the Maple Leafs lefty. Now can he finish the job on the number 3 hitter for Barrie?
The pitch I'd like to see are backdoor slider.
1-2. Spiked it in the dirt.
He had the idea, it just looked like he executed the fastball instead, but it's the right move. You've set up outside twice there. You try to jam him inside by getting him reaching.
Bases loaded. Top of the third. 2-2 the count on Francisco Hernandez. And he takes upstairs, and it's full. Oh, what a big pitch coming here from Alvarado. He's taking a couple extra deep breaths, kind of trying to reset. If you're Alvarado, you got to think this might be the pitch that defines your outing today. Gets his sign. A full count with the bases loaded. And it's strike 3 called on the outside corner. Oh, he executed that backdoor breaking ball perfectly, and that's out number 2.
Oh, man, I was going to say, what pitch do you have confidence in? He decided to go with the slider. That is a massive pitch. And I said it earlier in the at-bat. If you're Francisco Hernandez, you got to know that backdoor slider can come like it just did. And he finishes it off right there. That is a beautiful sequence out of Alvarado.
Now it's Nolan Macabrota, who's 0 for 13 in this series. Takes a first pitch strike. Johannes Alvarado seems a little pumped up after getting that big strike 3 call.
Well, baseball, it's a game all about momentum. And, you know, this inning, Barrie, they had the momentum. They had the bases loaded, 1 out. It seemed like the pendulum was starting to swing their way. Alvarado trying to change that here.
The 0-1. Macabrota takes strike 2. Boy, the odds are against him, but if there was any time to break out of the funk, if you're Nolan Macabrota, it's right now. The Barrie Baycats in danger of stranding the bases loaded.
How much you want to bet we see an outside slider? He's painted 2 fastballs, 1 high and away, 1 low and away.
You don't want to hang it, though, because Macabrota has great power at the plate. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Inside, and it hit him. Oh, and they're going to say he leaned into it, so Nolan Macabrota is going to have to come back to home plate.
Wow. Again, it's tough to see a play like that happen in real time. But, you know, if you're Nolan Macabrota, like, you're somebody that hasn't been able to get the bat going. You're just trying to help your team out. It's one of those where, you know, it's a call of the umpire. Did he lean in or did he not?
Oh, well, Johannes Alvarado is now chirping back with the Baycats dugout about him leaning into the pitch. We just watched the replay here on YouTube, and, you know, it's
a 50-50 one.
It's 50-50.
I mean, I'm not going to make that call. Not all the way up here, partner.
If you leaned into it, it was very slightly. But that breaking ball from Alvarado does get pretty close to the batter's body on the way by as he was trying to put it on the front door. So that's ball 1, and the count's now 1-2. And he misses outside.
That's not a bad setup pitch there. Again, you went inside with a slider and it just didn't have enough bite. You set up an outside fastball here, but if you're Will Hennis, if you're going back to that slider, you got to stick it to the outside half the plate. You can't go inside.
And that one did hit Nolan Macabrota. Boy, I mean, he got out of the way less on that one than he did on the first one, but the umpiring crew is going to give it to him. That's going to drive in the first run of the ball game for the Barrie Baycats.
Yeah, and I don't mind the pitch selection there, going back to the slider, but you had to do it low and away.
Oh, I mean, the first call I thought maybe could have gone either way. That one of them definitely, I think, was a hit by pitch.
Yeah.
I just not sure that they were in the right order. Tristan Clark comes to the plate now. It looked like Wilhennis Alvarado had all the momentum on his side, and the umpiring crew is gonna talk about this one. I mean, if this gets overturned, yeah, okay, they're gonna send him over to first base. Well, still a chance to limit the damage here if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, but Wilhennis Alvarado certainly is dealing with some adversity. Things are being shaken up in a big way in this inning, and can he block out the noise and get Tristan Clark here, who is a tough batter to get? You think about the guy that you'd want at the plate. It's Tristan Clark over Nolan Macabrota, who doesn't have a hit yet in this series. Wilhennis Alvarado ends up hitting that guy, and now he has to face Tristan Clark, who had 9 home runs in the regular season. Clark swings and misses.
Yeah, again, it was just a really, really good sequence of pitching by Wilhennis Alvarado, but the off-speed pitch, you got to try to bury that low and away. You got to make him reach for it, especially with a guy like Macabrota who's still searching for that first hit.
Alvarado 56 pitches into this outing. The 0-1. Popped up on the infield. Dan Mara gives way to Marcus Connect. Perfect communication by those two. And yeah, you can see that fist pump from Eugenio Alvarado on the way out. The Baycats get one, but there was a moment in this inning that felt like it could be much more. It's Barrie who needs to win tonight to send it to Game 5. Toronto, who has the lead. Well, the Hamilton Cardinals look like they are about to eliminate the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. A big 8-0 lead in that series. That's the one other game going on right now. Hamilton with that 2-1 series lead. And they've got the home field advantage and the big lead. Here in Toronto, it's Frank Garces and the Barrie Baycats who have jumped out to a 1-0 lead against the Maple Leafs as Dan Mara fouls this pitch off. Garces only gave up 1 run back in game 1. The 0-2. Mara pops it up, but this one's going to get foul behind home plate.
I mentioned it earlier in the ball game, but this has been the part of the lineup that's been doing a lot of the damage for the Maple Leafs and really setting them up. The bottom half of the order, Dan Mara and Luca Boscarino.
0-2. Mara pops it up, foul towards first base, and it is caught just in front of the fence by Nolan Macabrota. Oh, what a swing it was for Luca Boscarino last time he was here at Christie Bitts. A big home run to left field. And the home run was great, but all the buzz was that Max Domi was in the crowd. So we found out that Max Domi is Luca Boscarino's cousin. So he came to watch his baseball game. Obviously, Max Domi, a hockey player for the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team.
Well, after the game, Boscarino, he walked up the hill, he was heading home, and when the broadcast were cleaning up, we asked him, we said, "Oh, you're good, you're close with Max Domi." He goes, "He's my cousin."
Here's the 0-2. Pretty cool. But the cool thing was that he went to Max before the game, said, "Hey, come to my game. I'm going to hit a home run for you." And what does he do? Rips one out to left field. How about that for his first home run of the season?
It was great. Great moment of the ball game.
0-2 now on Boscarino. That pitch just missed.
You know, it was raining throughout majority of the day, so it was curious of how many people were actually going to come out to the game here with the wet hillside, the grass. But
yeah,
it's a fair crowd. Yeah,
it's
a
filling
pretty
in.
fair crowd.
Here's the 1-2. More people than ever sitting down on the the metal bleachers. You can see them behind home plate because the grass is still a little bit wet. But you know what? It's drying out. So, you know, if you're sitting at home kind of debating, do I come out tonight? Bring a sweater and a blanket, and you should be good.
Yeah, and you're good to go.
Maybe a couple pops as well to enjoy on the hillside. Here's the 2-2. Ripped to left. That's a base hit for Boscarino. Tristan Clark will get it in quickly.
First base hit of the ball game there for the Maple Leafs.
Ryan Dos Santos comes to the plate. The leadoff hitter for the Maple Leafs. John Javier on deck. The Maple Leafs trying to answer the Baycats run that they got in the top of the third inning. Pitch just misses. Dos Santos walked in his first at-bat. Shocker.
Telling you, death, taxes, and Dos Santos walking.
The 1-0. That's a strike. That counts 1-1.
You know how I knew that was a strike? He did nod his head saying it wasn't. No. If you ever, you know, are really, really vested, just watch the tendencies of Dos Santos at the plate.
The 1-1. Swung on and missed, and the counts 1-2. Well, Ryan Dos Santos has stayed disciplined in his approach after hitting a home run to lead off the ball game. That got things kick-started for the Maple Leafs back in Game 3. That was on Sunday afternoon. The 1-2. Dos Santos swings and misses. It might have been foul tipped into the glove of Johnson. Either way, a strikeout for Frank Garces, who has piled up 5 of those already this game.
Yeah, he struck out the side in the first inning and then started the second inning off with a strikeout looking on Mara, and that was his first strikeout in 4 batters. But again, it's been that fastball. You know, just these Maple Leaf hitters haven't been able to pick up the fastball out of his hands. Javier and Castaldo both went chasing on the riser, it felt like. Garces just cracked the biggest smile on the mound because there's a fan, and for first time in a while, it's not the Bushman.
Yeah.
There's a fan on the right-hand side that's just calling out everything Garces is doing.
The 0-1, foul tipped by John Javier.
He stepped off the mound. He said, he's touching his hat. He's touching his hat. I think that one kind of got Garces. He's still smiling a little bit. He can hear it.
So Frank Garces, listen to this, he has struck out 112 Toronto Maple Leafs over his IBL career.
That is just spectacular numbers.
The 0-2 to Javier. Popped up on the infield. Brandon Hernandez makes the catch, and that will end the inning. Garces allows just the single from Luca Boscarino and holds the Barrie Baycat lead at 1-0. Well, back here at Dominico Field and taking a look at the pitching staff for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this series. And Zach, has it ever been good between Matt Brown, who's actually off at school right now, Taylor Lepard, Alvarado, Florentino, who has been such a hero out of the bullpen for the Maple Leafs, Berenbaum, and Hernandez. It's just been fantastic, and this is just so much better than what we saw from the Maple Leafs in the regular season. But you know, they knew that this was a possibility, that these guys, these specific group of guys, could do this well in the playoffs.
And I think the biggest thing is giving the offense a chance. And that's exactly what this pitching staff has done in the postseason. Is they're giving the hitters a chance to come back in the ballgame. And you know, they're down 1-0 here, but Wilhelmus Alvarado, this game could be completely different if he got frustrated, got angry with the bases loaded after hitting that batter. He didn't. He gritted his teeth, he gritted down, and he got the third out that was needed. Gets back, like you said, he had a big fist bump, but now you got to see the hitters. The hitters got to pick up something in Frank Garces. Nobody in this Toronto lineup has been able to do that in the appearances he's had against them. Somebody has to pick something up and take the reins here in this ballgame.
So that brings the Maple Leafs to a team ERA of 2.36 coming into today as a team, which, believe it or not, only sits them third in the Intercounty Baseball League right now, because the Welland Jackfish have a team ERA under 2 and the Guelph Royals have an ERA of 2 right now. But those are all going to be tough opponents in the next round. If the Maple Leafs were to win this series, they would go up against the Welland Jackfish. All teams reseeded after the first round.
You know, if the Maple Leafs were able to advance, I'm not sure Welland would look at them as an easy competition.
This one on the ground to Castaldo. Steps on first, and that's the first out.
You look at what the Maple Leafs have done this year against really good teams, Welland especially. They've taken the fight to Welland every single game, and not just here, but at Jackfish Stadium.
Maple Leafs swept the season series in Welland, like all the games that were in Welland. But I mean, for the Barrie Baycats, they got to be still thinking they have a great chance to win this series. All you got to do is, win a couple games in a row against this Toronto Maple Leafs team. You got Frank Garces on the mound today. That gives you a pretty good chance. And then, you figure something out for game 2. Obviously, it'll be, Juan Benitez starting. But if Frank Garces is good today, then you got, Sano probably good to go for tomorrow. Although, luckily for the Maple Leafs, this is interesting too. So Florentino threw 42 pitches over an inning and a third. Carlos Sano, same thing. Pitched into a third inning of work, but only threw 39 pitches or something. That's not an exact number, but it was in the 30s, which is crazy efficient. That's big for Game 5 for both of these teams. Here's the 2-1. That one's outside, and Alvarado falls behind Keys, 3-1. Ball 4. Clayton Keys heads down to first base. The Baycats have a 1-out base runner here in the 4th. Alvarado didn't walk anyone in his last start in Barrie. So I just got the exact numbers on Florentino. So in Game 1, he threw 43 pitches. That was part of an inning and 2/3 when he got walked off. And, lots of his teammates were thinking that kind of is the pitch limit for Florentino, a 2-inning guy. But once you get over the 40 pitch mark, things kind of get dicey. And then he came back and needed just 41 pitches to get through 2 2/3 innings back in Game 3. Leafs brought him in the 7th.
They wanted it shut down, and that's what he did.
Struck out 5, didn't allow a single hit. Now Andrew Johnston at the dish with Keys, the runner at first base. The 1-0. You could kind of see Keys is kind of trying to get a read there on Wilhelmus Alvarado at first base. He broke back when Wilhelmus Alvarado broke to the plate there, so safe to say he doesn't quite have him timed up yet.
There's been just so little action on the bases, really, for both teams.
The 1-1. On the ground, this one to second. Dan Mara has it. Flips to Ross, back to first, double play. And that will end the 4th inning for Alvarado and the Maple Leafs. Boy, he threw the perfect pitch to Johnston and got him to ground into the twin killing. And it's 1-0 Barrie Baycats. We'll be right back. Back here at Dominico Field, Jordan Castaldo leading things off against Frank Garces. Castaldo puts that one onto Barton Avenue.
What are you snacking over there, partner?
Granola bar? Like, I don't know. There's the 1-1 to Castaldo, and he swings through that good breaking ball from Frank Garces. There's just, so many tools that Garces has in his tool case when you think about changing how quickly he comes to the plate. He's got that breaking ball. Seems like he's got a couple different fastballs as well.
He's just about hit the 50 pitch threshold.
1-1. Quick to the plate. Swing and a miss by Castaldo. That's out number 1.
It's another strikeout for Frank Garces. I mean, these hitters just haven't been able to time him up, and just does fantastic job tunneling pitches.
6 strikeout for Garces. He's got Jordan Castaldo, a dangerous hitter, twice. Got Marcus Connect once as well. He's 0 for 1 today. Next takes just inside. Garces is missed with a couple pitches, but when he does, he is very close to his intended target. He's painting corners right now. And now he's out in front of Marcus Connect. Or sorry, it's 1-1 now on Marcus Connect.
Again, it's just nobody's been able to really get a comfortable feeling against Garces, and I think it's ultimately going to come down to the righties in this lineup. And it's no disrespect to the left-handed hitters, the Maple Leafs. It's just he's such a tough pitcher. It's hard to pick up that fastball and slider combination. You look at it, it's the exact same for Wellness Alvarado.
Connect pops this one straight up. It's going to stay in play. Johnston calling for it, makes the catch. Second out. 2 efficient outs to start the inning for Garces. 56 pitches now into his outing. He is on a considerably better pace than what he was on back in Game 1, where he threw 133 pitches. Justin Mara to the dish now, struck out in his first at-bat. 2 outs in the inning. Swung on a miss by Mara.
I think if Mara was sitting the fastball and if he got it, that one might have been parked either off of the middle monster or right over it, because that was a big-time swing at a number 9.
Luca Boscarino, the only batter to reach base for the Maple Leafs since the first. Mara, check swing, did he go? No, says the umpire at third base, but it was close.
The good old triple check down a third. Mara pointed, the back catcher Johnson pointed, and the umpire pointed.
Yeah, Mara said, I'll prove it.
Classic triple check. Hey, we have a couple of people standing behind home plate. They're trying to get in on the action.
There you go. Here's the 1-1. Mara cuts on and miss.
Fastball once more.
These Maple Leafs hitters have been guessing wrong almost every time on whatever Garces is throwing. Frank Garces looking for another 1-2-3 inning. Here's the 1-2. Mara fouls it off.
He's on time. Now just got to get the barrel to it.
Garces does such a good job of disrupting that timing from opposing hitters.
The loudest contact on the day, it's still Luca Boscarino. He had that line shot right through the left-hand side.
Here's the 1-2. In the dirt, another check swing. Mara did not go around.
This is a veteran at-bat here from Justin Mara. 2-2 here, and he's not biting on the slider. I think that is a lot of tell of how well he's seen the ball.
Mara battling here after falling behind Garces. There's the 2-2. Justin Mara destroys this baseball to center field, and it's gone. Oh, stay hot, Justin Mara. He's homered in 3 consecutive games, and he's tied this game at 1.
This guy's hotter than the sun right now. Mara, that ball's looking like a beach ball coming into him. You mentioned 3rd home run in as many games. And I mean, the Leafs needed some life. Why not out of their captain, Justin Mara?
Wow, what a swing. Boy, this looks like, 2017 MVP Justin Mara right now. He's on fire, he's swinging it well. There's no feeling he likes more in baseball than hitting a ball like he just did. And he did it off of a real tough pitcher in Frank Garces. Dennis DeBanning now takes strike 1.
Hey, partner, I think he might do another year because, like you said, the swings have added up here in the playoffs.
Boy, he's sure hitting it well. Here's the 0-1. Justin didn't say that he was going to retire after this season, but it's definitely this point in his life where he's thinking, he definitely has some decisions to make next year. Here's the 0-2. But I can guarantee you he's not thinking about that right now. He is.
Oh, Bobby.
Good effort.
I mean, I've seen Bobby take some I've seen him take some big spills, but that was a new one. He dove head first for that one. Just came up a little bit short, but got the pick.
DeBanning bunts it down the line. It wasn't actually a bunt. It was a swinging bunt, and it rolls foul.
Can we just talk about Bobby still just laying out for that one?
Yeah,
I mean,
he picked it, too. It was almost more impressive than the catch. Boy, to think Frank Garces was, one strike away from getting through a clean 1-2-3 inning, and then Justin Mara walked in.
Well, I said it. It was dangerous, the fact that Mara was laying off those sliders. He was seeing the fastball extremely well. And then 2 pitches later, he just hammers it.
What a player. 0-2 on Dennis DeBanning. He fouls another one off.
This is just a great fight out of number 19 here.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So, Mara hits the home run. He works a bunch of pitches. Before the game, he said he wants batters to, take some pitches, make Frank Garces work. Dennis DeBanning got out on the first pitch in his first at-bat, and look what he's doing now.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see. Just before that Mara at-bat, Garces was approaching 50. He's nearly up to 60, 70 area now.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Frank Garces gets strikeout number 7, but Justin Mara does it again. A home run to center field. He crushed it. It's 1-1 now at Christie Pitts. Boy, some life injected into the crowd here at Christie Pitts with that big swing from Justin Mara.
Was it the big swing or the Bobby Armstrong dive?
They were both up there.
Okay.
Yeah. Adam Maud trying to bunt, and he pushes it foul to the left.
I mentioned it before that inning, or I should say the last inning here for the Maple Leafs, that the pitchers are giving the offense the opportunity. And, I raised the question, who's going to be the one to step up? And Justin Mara, he answered that call.
Decent crowd size considering the rain.
0-1 now on Adam Maud. Swing and a miss. That was filthy from Wilhenis Alvarado. Slowed that slider down a little bit.
I think he's kind of learned that he was trying to throw it a little bit too fast to Macabrota when he hit him. He's changed his arm angle a little bit with it.
And he got him. Another perfectly placed slider on the outside corner. Adam Maud swings and misses, and that's the first out of the inning.
You give a little run support to your pitcher, and they can go a long way. And That one right there, you know, Alvarado, he was probably feeling like it was his fault about, you know, the one run coming in. He hit the batter, but his battery mate comes through, and, you know, there's a little bit more life in Will Hennis Alvarado right now.
Well, McGarry Doyle, the leadoff hitter. Ground ball to short. Ross drops it, now picks it up, throws to first, picked by Jordan Castaldo, and that's out number 2.
Absolutely love that play because Ross, he went for the ball. Yes, he bobbled it a little bit, but he stayed calm, stayed composed, made the throw over, and even though it was a low throw, Castaldo, he helped out his infielder.
Spencer Ross has made some sparkling defensive plays in this series. That was not one of them, but he'll take it. Hasn't got a lot of action over there at shortstop today either.
That's probably why. The last time he was here, it was the first batter. It was a line drive.
Yeah, Ryan Dos Santos at third base has been the guy that's been getting a lot of ground balls, which is funny because if I think back to Game 2, I don't believe he got a single ball down there at third base. Line drive. Ross can't get to this one. It's up the middle and into center field for a base hit for Brandon Hernandez. Now Francisco comes to the dish. Leafs and Baycats tied at 1. Will Hennis Alvarado trying to get a shutdown inning here and turn things back over to his offense.
That's got to feel good for Brandon Hernandez, who last time up he took the ball right off the elbow guard.
Mm-hmm. Francisco takes low and maybe inside. I don't know if we've seen Brandon throw a baseball yet. He did catch one on a pop-up. Have to keep an eye on that. Here's the 1-0. Laced to left, and it's a fair ball down the line. Into the corner to get it is Luca Boscarino. The throw to the cutoff man, and a run comes in to score. Francisco Hernandez with an RBI double, and the Barrie Baycats retake the lead.
Yeah, that's a great piece of hitting right there, and that's the risk you run of throwing the inside slider.
That was a great shot we just got there. You see Josh Matlow, a big sigh of relief on his face, knowing the pressure there is on this game. And the reason I think, you saw him just go that deep breath was because that ball actually hit the chalk line down the left field line. It was very close. And, so close that Brian Sewell right now is going to have a conversation with the umpire at third base.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it gets any closer than that, looking down the third baseline. But again, credit to Francisco Hernandez. Absolutely pulled that ball down the line. And I mentioned it, that's the risk you run when it comes to throwing inside breaking balls to a right-handed hitter if you're a lefty.
So last at bat, Nolan Macabrota was hit by a pitch twice. One of them counted, and it ended up driving in a run for the Barrie Baycats. That was with the bases loaded. And here comes Macabrota to the plate again with another RBI opportunity. He was the RBI guy in the regular season for Barrie. Fouls this one off.
If you're Alvarado here, you can't let Francisco Hernandez distract you of what's important. You just got to focus on the batter, Macabrota. Hernandez, yes, if he gets around, he's another run in, but all the attention, 2 outs, just have your attention squarely on that batter, somebody who's been struggling in this series.
The 1-1. That one just misses. Well, now it's Barrie Baycats' turn to put together some 2-out production. They got a hit, a single, and a double, and that scores a run. After Alvarado got the first 2 batters. That pitch just inside. And Macabrota does stand quite close to the plate, and that breaking ball, even the ones that are just inside or even right on the inside corner still come very close to that elbow of Nolan Macabrota. And Alvarado's not afraid to just keep putting it in there on him. He knows that he doesn't feel particularly comfortable when he's got that lefty breaking ball coming over his front hip. Here's the 3-1. Check swing, ball 4. Macabroda will head down to first base again.
Yeah, that walk, I'm going to credit it to Francisco Hernandez. He did a really good job just distracting, taking the attention away from the batter. And again, I get it. If you're a pitcher, you want to keep the guy at second base close, but almost every pitch, he was fully attentive on what was happening right there with Francisco Hernandez.
Here's Tristan Clark. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Before he gets the chance to swing the bat, Brian Sewell is going to come out to the mound and chat with Johannes Alvarado. This seems like it's just kind of a slow things down kind of conversation here. Not sure it's really much of going over the game plan for Tristan Clark, but it's a smart move there from Brian Sewell just to come out and slow things down, because anytime you see pitchers start to throw a lot of pitches in an inning, that's where you either hang one, and this is a good matchup for Tristan Clark with the lefty righty, or you start to get a little bit wild. Fatigue really starts to set in when the more pitches you throw in a single inning. Clark swings and foul tips that first pitch.
Not a bad idea to kind of go back with the slider. You can see there he went with it outside half, a back door. Got him swinging on it, but again, it's the risk you run. If you're going to throw the slider, you either got to bury it back foot or you got to make it where it's an awkward swing for the righty.
Noah Hull is on deck if it gets that far. Here's the 0-1 to Clark. A strike. Breaking ball outside corner.
That's a picture-perfect backdoor pitch. You set yourself up here. You can go inside fastball to try to jam him and get the hands, extended on the bat, or you just trying to freeze him with something low and away.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That went a little too far outside.
Yeah, try it again with the same pitch.
It's interesting, Alvarado's breaking ball today has been pretty good. Hasn't been fantastic, but pretty good. Has been enough to get outs here against the Barrie Baycats. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball up the middle for a base hit. This is going to cash in another run, and the Baycats lead 3-1.
Yeah, right there again, it's just a tough play of Tristan Clark against the Baycats. He has been against the Maple Leafs. He has been torching them all season long. And, the walk to Macabroda, it's just that much bigger.
These 2-out runs that the Baycats are putting together in this inning are monumental. That they've really never been bigger, because with Frank Garces on the mound on the other side of things, getting 2 runs off of him is not the easiest task in the world.
Again, by no means are the Maple Leafs out of this just yet. You still have tons of baseball left to be played here, but you got to figure out Frank Garces.
Hall takes strike 1.
Looks like Merrick Deska over there in the bullpen warming up.
Here's the 0-1 from Alvarado. Breaking ball, Hall wouldn't chase. You can see Alvarado starting to feel a little bit of fatigue out here on the mound. He's throwing a lot of pitches here in this 5th inning. The 1-1 to Hull. And Alvarado finds the zone, and he's ahead in the count 1-2. Big pitch here from Alvarado, trying to get out of the fifth. The 1-2. Fouled off. Hull did a good job to get a piece of that one.
Yeah, it's good fastball in on the hands.
Another 1-2. Hull hits this one in the air towards center field. Over comes Dennis Debandy. Now gives way to Luca Boscarino, who makes the catch, and that will end the fifth. But the Barrie Baycats able to scratch across a couple runs. They've taken a 3-1 lead over Toronto. Spencer Ross will lead things off for the Toronto Maple Leafs here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Frank Garces, who has been cruising on the mound except for the one blemish on the Justin Mara home run, is back out there for Barrie. How many pitches does he have in that arsenal tonight? First pitch strike to Ross.
This is the part of the lineup that, again, it's been the most dangerous with consistency-wise of Mara, Ross, and Boscarino.
Yeah, just in terms of making contact, Ross, Mara, and Boscarino just have such an innate ability to put the ball in play. Here's the 0-2. Ross will fist one towards first base. Garces covering, steps on first just in time. It was a close play at first, but Ross just a step behind Frank Garces, who got over there quickly. With one out, here comes Dan Mara. He's the number 8 hitter, followed by Luca Boscarino, and then the Maple Leafs will try and turn things over to the top of their lineup. Boscarino and Justin Mara, the only players with hits off of Garces today, and
that was a disgusting change-up on the inside half there.
It's the 0-1. Dan takes a strike. The 0-2. Inside. Frank Garces, a great start to his Inter-County Baseball League career that started back in 2018 with the Baycats, was the pitcher of the year in that season. The Baycats won the championship. Now Barrie coming off another season where they're trying to repeat. Lined into center, and that one's in for a base hit. Dan Mara finds some grass, and the Leafs have a 1-out base runner. Well, this is definitely cause for some optimism here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've got a runner on first base, Boscarino, one of now 3 Maple Leafs to get a hit off of Frank Garces in the game today. And Boscarino's hit in his last at-bat was no cheap shot. He ripped it into left.
Yeah, one of the hardest hits of the ball game off the bat of Luca Boscarino.
Definitely not the hardest, though.
That double down the line was pretty good.
Yeah, the home run by Justin Marr.
Oh, that too,
yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Like 430 to center.
Probably about 110 off the bat. That's a pretty important moment in the ball game.
Another hard hit ball, but this one into the glove of Hernandez, and it's dropped at first now. It looked like it was going to be a routine double play. Nolan Macabroda couldn't squeeze it, and the Leafs stay alive here in the 5th.
So this is the interesting part there. It looks like Hernandez at short. He had a little bit of a bobble there, but remember, he was hitting the elbow earlier in this ball game. That's the first throw he's made in game action since that happened. So you wonder if that played a little bit of a factor because, you know, majority of his throws, or I should think all of his throws have been just darts over there to first. Nothing in the dirt, nothing high. All darts. That's the first time we've really seen him kind of dirt a baseball.
Yeah, that wasn't Nolan Macabroda's fault at first base, but it just, you know, kind of skimmed right out of his glove there. It looked like he was very close to making that pick. No, Ryan Dos Santos. Maple Leafs need an extra base hit probably here to score Boscarino. Two 2-0 on Dos Santos, ahead in the count. See if he can hunt a fastball here. That one in the dirt. 3-0 now. Frank Garces has only walked one batter in this game. It was Ryan Dos Santos, and it led off the ball game. I mean, if Dos Santos could draw a walk here, it would bring John Javier to the plate, a righty bat. That's not a bad scenario for the Maple Leafs. That's a strike on the outside corner. Three and one now. Santos takes a breaking ball. Now it's 3-2. That one was perfectly located as well.
Yeah, just went again with the outside half. He got him with the fastball just to kind of watch the first strike. And he went right back to the well with the off speed.
Counts full now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Boscarino will be off from first base. Dos Santos takes strike 3 called, but it gets away, and Dos Santos is out at first base. The throw from Johnston just in time to complete the strikeout. You don't see that one every day. Strike 3 called, and it gets away from the catcher, but it works out all the same from Frank Garces, who gave big props to his catcher Johnston for making that throw on the way out. It's the Baycats who continue to lead 3-1 here over Toronto. Welcome back to Dominico Field. Toronto Maple Leafs, Barrie Baycats here in the top of the 6th inning. This is Game 4 of this best-of-5 series. Johannes Alvarado misses outside to Clayton Keys with the first pitch. It's the Maple Leafs who hold a 2-1 series lead. If the Baycats were to win today, Game 5 would be tomorrow in Barrie. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. If the Maple Leafs were to win tonight, they would end up being the lowest seed in the playoffs, so they would be matched up against the Welland Jackfish in the next round. Here's the 1-1.
Beautiful breaking ball in the outside half, called for strike 2. But what I was going to say is, again, it's just another really good duel between Garces and Alvarado. Barrie, for the most part, they've been able to actually get to Alvarado so far here today. Garces, he's been almost picture perfect.
Count now 2-2. If Barrie were to win this series, they would match up against the Guelph Royals. And that was kind of interesting because the regular season kind of came down to who didn't have to play Guelph. Here's the 2-2 to Keys. Just outside, and the count's full. It was down to the wire between the London Majors and Barrie Baycats for who was going to get that 2 seed because no one wanted to play that 6-seeded Guelph Royals team. Barrie ended up winning the battle, so now they've got Toronto. Full count pitch, low, ball 4. Keys will walk to start off the inning.
Couple close pitches on the corners there, just didn't go the way of Johannes Alvarado, but you got to grit your teeth here.
Alvarado has walked 4 batters. You know, he's looked pretty similar to the Johannes Alvarado that we saw in Game 1 of this series, but the difference has been the walks.
So it'd be Barrie and Hamilton second round if Barrie were to advance.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah.
Welland would play the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, right. This ball is bunted foul by Andrew Johnston, who's done this a couple times today, square around a bunt.
This is interesting because you can see Dos Santos, he's playing about halfway down, and everyone is charging. Jordan Castaldo is staying put, and you can see Johnston was trying to just push that ball down the first baseline.
Dos Santos already in. Pitch up and away, anticipating that bunt there of Johnston. By the way, 13-0 Hamilton Cardinals over the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers right now in the 5th. Hamilton is more likely than not going to move on to round 2 with a 3-1 series win over Chatham-Kent. The 1-1 to Johnston. He's swinging. Oh, how about that? Squared around to bunt, put the back on the shoulder, and take a huge hack.
In the words of Major League Baseball pitcher Blake Snell, he pulled off the fake bunt yammers. Got some fake bunt yammers going on here in Christie Pitts.
Now he's not bunting, though, because the count's 1-2. And he fouls that one off Justin Mara, who's probably saying he's already taken enough foul tips off his body today. Johnston trying to have a productive at-bat here. Gonna have to find another way to move that runner over with 2 strikes on him. The 1-2. Fouled off.
He stayed with it. That was a fantastic off-speed pitch, but he just kept his hands inside, stayed with it.
There's the 1-2. Oh, and he just missed. 2-2 now.
And there's There's been a couple of these innings where Alvarado, he looks like he's hitting his spot, but just missing. Really just a 50-50 call, and the umpire saying it's just off the plate.
It's costing him a lot of pitches here in this inning, too. 2-2. Right back to Alvarado, drops it, now throws to second, gets the force out, turn to first, not in time. Ooh, lots happening on that play. Well, Hennis Alvarado, I don't think he dropped that ball intentionally. It was a rocket right back to him. Got his glove on it, and they get the force out at second when it's all said and done.
Goes down as a fielder's choice right there for Johnston. You see Alvarado, you signaled immediately, say, hey, I'm good, keep me in this ball game.
Adam Odd comes up with one out. Baycats have traded runners at first base. So now it's Andrew Johnston instead of Keys, who walked to start the inning. Slight delay there was for Spencer Ross to tie his shoe at shortstop.
Always make sure your shoe's tied.
Yep.
Never want to trip.
First pitch outside to Adam Odd.
This is a big out here in this ball game. Adam Odd, you want to get to the top of the order with 2 outs. The Hernandez brothers, they have been torching so far in this one.
3 hits combined between the two of them. Here's the 1-0. Odd hits it hard on the ground. That one gets through for a base hit. Marcus Connect will pick this one up as he does. Andrew Johnston cruises into second base. There's runners on first and second here for the Baycats in the 6th with just 1 away.
Yeah, they wasted no time whatsoever there. Was Adam Odd. And again, we're in a big moment here in this ball game. The Barrie Baycats have an opportunity to open the gates wide open here, but we've seen this from Alvarado earlier in the ball game. You know, he's gritted his teeth, he's worked through good counts, and now you got to do it one more time.
Noel McGarry Doyle at the dish now. This is the moment here for the Baycats that, you know, they might still win this game just with Garces on the mound of the 2-run lead, but this is the moment where you could give yourself some real insurance here in the 6th. Gary Doyle takes a first pitch outside, and Alvarado, who was getting ahead of a lot of batters early in the game, is starting to throw ball 1 quite a bit here in the last 2 innings. This pitch count getting up there. Swing and a miss from McGarry Doyle, still able to snap off a good breaking ball. This will be pitch number 108 from Wilhennis Alvarado. This one hit well, and it is off the wall. Boscarino picks it up, throws it in. 1 run comes in to score for the Baycats. McGarry Doyle into second base. He's got himself a double. It's 4-1 Barrie.
And that's the big moment right there. Noel McGarry Doyle, he stayed on that ball, and you could see it had that kind of tailing action into left field and just kept cutting away for Boscarino.
Noel McGarry Doyle just stood and watched that ball at home plate for a while. I'm not sure if he thought he'd hit it out to left, but either way, he's able to make it into second base. That's a big hit for the Baycats here, who are really threatening in the 6th. And Alvarado, whose pitch count is way up over 100, is going to need to really grit down and use whatever energy is left in the tank to try and get through it. This pitch in the dirt, it gets to the backstop. Mara has it, throws home, not in time. Adam Odd comes in to score. It's 5-1.
That's just a tough one. Again, he looked like he went with the breaking ball and just went into the dirt. It's been a tough game behind the plate for Justin Mara.
Marek Deska continues to get loose in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. He's the guy that could give them a little bit of length to, kind of still give them a chance to win the ball game and bridge the gap to the 9th inning, because, if the Maple Leafs don't win this game today, they're going to have to really gear up for tomorrow. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball from Alvarado.
The biggest thing here, though, is if Barrie is able to save their bullpen with Frank Garces, that speaks wonders for game number 5 if it gets to that point.
The 1-1 to Brandon Hernandez. Swing and a miss. If the Leafs want to get back, they got to get Garces out of the game. That's going to be the big thing.
It's going to be really tough. His pitch count is still fairly low.
Yeah, you're not going to get 4 off of him. One and 2 now on Brandon Hernandez. And he pops this one up. Dos Santos at the fence, but he runs out of room. One and 2 on Brandon Hernandez. Francisco, who's had a great day at the plate. He's 2 for 3, is on deck. Still just 1 out in the inning. Infield in for the Maple Leafs. And this one's popped up on the infield. Spencer Ross, who is playing in, is going to have to scamper back. He's there to make the catch, and that's out number 2. Runner at third, McGarry Doyle, holds. And here comes Rob Butler to the mound. I think this is going to be the end of the line here for Wilhelmus Alvarado. Definitely, well, he's having a conversation, and now Rob Butler will make the call to the bullpen. Marek Deska is going to come into this game, while Wilhelmus Alvarado, not quite as dominant as he was in game 1, but really extended the pitch count today. Marek Deska will be tasked with trying to give the Maple Leafs some innings here, but first he'll have to get out of the 6th. Well, veteran right-handed pitcher Marek Deska takes the mound now for the Toronto Maple Leafs, trying to get out of the 6th inning. First pitch to Francisco Hernandez is fouled off. This will be the first appearance in the playoffs for Marek Deska. First appearance in the playoffs in 2 years for Deska, actually. Last came into a game back in 2023 in the playoffs for the Maple Leafs. Had a good regular season, an ERA of 4.72 over 9 games. There's the 1-1 to Hernandez. He fouls it off. Oh, McGarry Doyle, the runner at third base. Well, Hennis Alvarado ends up going 5 2/3 innings for the Leafs, gives up 5 runs, all of them earned on 7 hits and struck out 4. Also walked 4 batters. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off again.
Yeah, Hernandez just fighting here. Everything is just not a comfortable at bat.
Baycats 5 runs on 7 hits. Deska trying to stop the bleeding here in the 6th. Just misses. The electric zip on that fastball there from Marek Deska. He's talking to a couple of his teammates. I think it might have been Justin Morrow he was chatting with, and he came out, he said, you know, Marek Deska, he's a veteran player, but got a little extra on that fastball this season. It's been something that Maple Leafs players have noted, and you know, it's been one of the better regular seasons for Marek Deska that we've seen in a couple of years.
We want to talk about the long tenured. He's one of, if not the longest tenured player in the IBL.
I believe his first season was in 2006 for the Maple Leafs. No one's going to be able to break the tenure record, though, now that Damon Toppoli is back in the league. This one's fouled off by Hernandez. Two and two. Deska's come into this game, and Francisco Hernandez has already made him throw 7 pitches in this at-bat. Like that, 8. Well, Deska will just keep trying to pound that outside corner if Francisco Hernandez can't get to it. See if Hernandez gets a pitch he likes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. What a job by Marek Deska to come in and settle things down for the Maple Leafs in the 6th. The Barrie Baycats scored 2 runs in the 6th, just like they did in the 5th, and now lead 5-1 as we head to the bottom half. John Javier will lead things off for the Maple Leafs here in the bottom of the 6th. They need some runs. First pitch swinging, Javier deep to left. This one's hooking towards the corner, and it is foul. Didn't quite clear the wall. It was off the base of the wall and foul down the left field line.
Yeah, Tristan Clark gave it a run. He just couldn't get there over there in time, but almost had the distance.
Pretty good swing there by John Javier, but I think he just got it off the end of the bat. So the 0-1 now. He takes outside and the count's 1-1. 5-1 Baycats. They've scored 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings. Now Javier rips one to left again. That one might have had home run distance, but this one a little bit more foul down the left field line.
Went with the off speed there once more, but this time he was just more out in front of it.
Well, the Barrie Baycats have been able to keep John Javier at bay so far. He's 0 for 2 after coming in red hot into this one tonight. Now time called by Javier. One and 2 the count now. Check swing, no swing. Javier takes that breaking ball in the dirt. Jordan Castaldo awaits on deck. And strike 3 called at the knees. Garces gets out number 1.
Frank Garces, what a night he's having here once more for the side of the Baycats. I mean, this is exactly what Barrie needed in Game 4. He's delivering on every aspect.
9 strikeouts over 5 1/3 so far tonight. 2 of them have been on Jordan Castaldo, who comes to the dish now.
He's at 88 pitches right here through 5 1/3, but again, we know he can go up to about 130.
Strike 1 on the outside corner. Swing and a miss, 0-2 now. Garces way ahead of Castaldo here. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3-pitch strikeout, 10 now for Garces in the 6th.
Yeah, he is just mixing up his pitches so well today. The Maple Leafs just haven't been able to get to him whatsoever. Alvarado dueled him in Game 1, but this time it's been Garces out-dueling Alvarado.
Strike 1 there to Marcus Connect. There's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Oh and 2 on Connect. Fouls it off. Just 2 balls in the inning thrown by Frank Garces. Struck out John Javier, then Castaldo. Now ahead 0-2 on Connect. Pitch number 95 is a foul tip by Marcus Connect. "66 strikes, 29 balls for Frank Garces in this outing." The 0-2. Fisted to short. Brandon Hernandez has some trouble with it. And Connect will reach.
Well, you just got to get on base any way possible, and a good job by Connect to just hustle down that line. You know, once you get a ground ball like that, it's really up to the fielder. And now you have the red-hot Justin Mara.
Yeah, just destroyed a home run in his last at-bat. He's been on fire for the Maple Leafs.
You think of it, one swing of the bat, the Leafs are right back into this ball game, you know. But right now, if you're Mara, you got to go up there with the mindset of just continuing to pass the torch down this line. We've seen the Maple Leafs have a couple of 2-out rallies. They would need one here.
First pitch to Mara. A strike.
Interesting here to see him start him off with the slider. Again, Mara was just dead red on the fastball the last time up. Was able to lay off 2 really good sliders down and away.
The 0-1. 0-2 now on Justin Mara. And 3 batters in a row Frank Garces has had down 0-2. Mara takes outside, and it's 1-2 now.
Another really good slider low and away, and you know the first 2 pitches really just show how well Garces tunnels his fastball and his slider. Alvarado, he does it well as well, just hasn't been able to the best of his abilities tonight.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Johnston. And Frank Garces gets 3 strikeouts in the bottom of the 6th inning. Had an error on the infield, but it didn't end up hurting the Barrie Baycats. They're still out in front by 4 as we head to the 7th. Barrie Baycats cruising along here at Christy Pitts leading 5-1 over the Maple Leafs. Nolan Macabroda set to lead things off here, facing Marek Deska, who came in and got a strikeout to get the Maple Leafs out of what could have been a really bad 6th inning, and instead just 2 runs, and well, McGarry Doyle stranded at third base in the process. Well, Deska got the punch out.
This is going to be the real interesting part for the remainder of this game. Garces, 100 pitches on the dot. He's thrown 70 strikes, 30 balls. You know, we've seen him go 130. But if you're the Baycats, do you want to possibly save his arm if you want him to come in, say, tomorrow?
Well, the 0-2 from Deska, just low. Yeah, it's a tough call, right? Like, you don't really want a guy to throw 130 pitches 2 starts in a row, but if you're Barrie, you got to win today and you got to win tomorrow. So I don't think he's coming out of this game until he has to. Swing and a miss, strike 3. How about Marek Deska comes in and punches out the 2 batters he's faced?
It's interesting to see because the bullpen, nobody's warming up. This is Garces' inning for sure to start in the next half.
The Baycats could make that decision a whole lot easier if they were able to tack together a couple runs, but Marek Deska has looked quite strong to start his outing. On the ground, weakly hit. Ross has it, gobbles it up, throws to first, and the sure-handed Spencer Ross gets out number 2. 2 outs in the inning. Deska continuing to make quality pitches, and he's got 3 outs now for the Leafs. Noah Hull comes to the dish. He swings through the first pitch. Deska ahead in the count. The 0-1. Strike 2. No 2 pitch from Deska. Just missed.
And credit Marek Deska coming into this ballgame and just pumping the zone.
Deska looks in, gets his sign. The pitch. In the air, center field, Dennis DeBanning moves over, going back near the wall, reaches up and makes a nice running catch, and that will end the inning. Marek Deska, 4 up, 4 down for him to start out his outing. Looking good here, but the Maple Leafs trail by 4. Frank Garces at 100 pitches for the Barrie Baycats here in the top of the 7th inning. First batter he'll face is Dennis Debanik.
Well, one pitcher at 100, the other one at 18 this ball game.
Here's the 1-0. Debanik hits this one in the air on the infield. Francisco Hernandez able to make the catch. Well, the Maple Leafs are starting to get away from their approach a little bit here, just knowing that they need a little bit more of a long shot to get to Frank Garces. Over 100 pitches, but at this point, I think if they see a pitch early in a count that they want to take a cut at, they might do that, whereas early in the game, they were trying to make him work a little bit more. The 1-0 to Ross. This one's fouled off. Spencer Ross is 0 for 2 tonight. The 1-1. Ross hits one foul. This one's down the right field line, and it's going to drop right in the trio of Barrie Baycats that were trying to run that one down. No chance to make a play. Oh, Nolan Macabroda with a little kick flip to get that one to a second baseman. That was nifty.
Nice kick move.
I think that's harder to do with a baseball than a soccer ball.
I wonder how many multi-sport athletes we got out here.
1-2 on Ross. Check swing, no swing by Spencer Ross. The pitch was just outside. One out here in the 7th. Ross trying to get on and give the Maple Leafs some life. The 2-2. Fouled off.
For a split second, the way Johnston reacted, I thought the glove made contact on the swing. Thought there was catcher's interference, but I think he was just upset that he wasn't able to squeeze that ball.
Yeah, it was the ball tipping off the glove. Dan Mara, who's on deck, is one of the 3 Maple Leafs to have a hit off of Garces. Another 2-2 to Ross, who's fouled off some tough pitches. He's going to call time. Doesn't affect anything for Garces. He's still looking in and flipping through signs as Spencer Ross waits to get back in the box. Here's the 2-2. Low. Full count. Good at bat here by Spencer Ross. This will be the 7th pitch from Garces to Ross. And Ross takes ball 4. How about that? Got 2 strikes on him and then just kept fouling off pitches and earns himself a walk. Dan Mara and Luca Boscarino both have hits off of Frank Garces. They're coming up. Dan Mara hit a big home run for the Maple Leafs to kind of seal the deal back in Game 2.
Again, if you're the Leafs, you're not looking to tie things up with one swing of the bat. All you're doing right now is just try to get Garces out of this ball game. He's looking like he's going to be going the distance. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is stirring over there in that Barrie bullpen. He's at 110 pitches.
That's nothing.
I think he's ready to go 175.
This one fouled off. Oh, Angel Castro, when he played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, threw 145 here at Christie Pitts one time. Oh, and 2 on Dan Mara, who had to foul off that pitch on the outer half. Now Mara pops one up. This one's towards first, and a catch made all the way near the foul line by Francisco Hernandez, who kind of looks back at Nolan Macabroda and says, why did I have to come over and get that baseball? It was right behind Macabroda. He was worried about going back to first base and keeping tabs on Spencer Ross. Now Luca Boscarino. Ross takes his lead off of first base. The lefty Garces looking right at him. Pitch upstairs. The 1-0, up and away. Luca Boscarino plays his college baseball with the Reinhardt Eagles. Had an injury at the start of the season. Would have been a Toronto Maple Leaf all season long. Injured his hand and came back midway through the season for Toronto.
And ever since coming back, he's just been a staple in that lineup.
Just missed it. Hits it in the air on the infield. Brandon Hernandez makes the catch. Frank Garces through 7. Pitch count up there, but that's no problem for Frank Garces. 5-1 Baycats here in Toronto. It's the top of the 8th inning here at Christie Pitts. Baycats up by 4 on the Maple Leafs. Clayton Keys leading things off here against Marek Deska. First pitch strike to Keys.
I mean, this ball game is where we're at right now because of Mr. Frank Garces. What a game he has been having. I mean, when he was finishing that 6th inning, I looked at you. I said he's pitched, I believe, 14 innings, and he has 28 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Those are just ridiculous numbers.
Yeah. Is that like 120 strikeouts against Maple Leafs hitters over 12 games?
Yeah, just insane. Insane numbers. Truthfully, one of the best arms we've seen in the IBL. I mean, day in and day out, he comes out and performs.
Strike 3 called. Merrick Deska keeps on rolling for the Maple Leafs. 3 strikeouts for Deska over an inning and 2/3.
Yeah, what a job it's been. I mean, he's just coming and throwing strikes, 17 strikes to 5 balls, and he's doing a really good job just, putting the ball in the zone, and he's saying, hey, if you guys can hit it, hit it. If not, I'm going to keep punching up these punchies.
He's retired all 5 batters he's faced. Andrew Johnston takes a wild swing at the first pitch. The 0-1. Strike taken, 0-2. Deska just getting out in front of batters. And it's not like he's throwing the ball right down the middle, too. He's been hitting his spots. His 0-2. Outside. Merrick Deska's really got the velo up on that fastball as well. The 1-2. Fouled off. Merrick Deska obviously closer to the end of his career than the beginning of his career, but has had some really good seasons for the Maple Leafs in the past. The 1-2 pitch just misses. He was a staple of this Maple Leaf starting rotation, through 2010 to up around the 2020 season. Here's the 2-2. Fouled off by Johnston. And an ERA of 3.14 back in 2014. That was his best full season in the Intercounty Baseball League.
He's just a workhorse. A guy that'll go out there and just get the job done. That's what he's done here so far tonight.
And if he can finish this ball game, win or lose for the Maple Leafs, he will have saved the bullpen for Toronto for next game. As there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Wow. Merrick Deska gets another strikeout. That's 4.
Ageless wonder, Merrick Deska.
Merrick Deska and Alvarado both have 4 strikeouts today. Alvarado threw 5 2/3. Adam Odd now. Inside, ball 1. Believe it or not, that's just the 8th ball that Merrick Deska is throwing in this outing. Odd swings and misses. Took a huge hack.
I mean, what else can you really say? He's just going in and throwing strikes. That's all you can ask for.
Locating perfectly. Every single time the batter is guessing wrong about what pitch Merrick Deska is going to throw. Like that.
The swings are just so long. It kind of just seems like nobody is ready.
Yeah, and Deska's in a rhythm here, so Adam Odd calls timeout, kind of slows things down. And he just missed. Whew. That was inches away from being a strikeout of the side for Merrick Deska here in the 8th. Two and 2. On the ground to first. Castaldo, what a pick. Runs to first in time. Oh, man, a couple vets of the Intercounty Baseball League getting it done there to end the 8th inning. 2 punch-outs from Merrick Deska, and then Jordan Castaldo with a stone-cold pick down the line, and he does it himself. The Baycats lead by 4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. was the 80th strike thrown by Frank Garces in this outing. To Ryan Dos Santos, and the count's 0-1. That one misses inside, 1-1.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going all night here.
Santos is going to have to battle now. 118 pitches in. 1-2. He got him. Andrew Johnston will make the throw down to first base to complete the strikeout. That's 12 for Garces.
Yeah, it just does not look fun for a lefty. I mean, he has been having these batters off balance all night, and it just feels like you're going up to bat. You just got to pick a pitch and just try to hit it, but all of his stuff, it is moving so much.
So Garces at 119 pitches faces John Javier now. Javier 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Big swing from Javier, but now he's behind in the count 0-2. The only batters in the Maple Leafs lineup that haven't struck out against Garces, the bottom 3, Rosmar and Boscarino.
Yeah, they've just been fighting. I mean, you know, it's just tough. Frank Garces has such good stuff, and at the end of the day, you just got to credit what he has.
Javier hooks one on the ground. Brandon Hernandez, long throw in time. Javier gunned out, and that elbow of Brandon Hernandez looks pretty all right.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Jordan Castaldo to the dish now with 2 away. Castaldo a big cut and comes up empty on the first pitch. Don't often see that from Jordan Castaldo.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit more aggression out of these Maple Leaf hitters in the late stage of this game. They understand they got to try to get base hits. They're trying to attack early in the count.
Castaldo fouls it off, and the count's 0-2. Garces looking for strikeout number 13 in the 8th. The 0-2, just inside. I was talking to Jordan Castaldo the other day. He's definitely had his ups and downs this season. He said, you know, it's a matter of sticking with it. Baseball's a crazy game. You can't sit here and kind of dwell on the things that don't go your way. Here's the 1-2. Just outside. That one does go the way of Jordan Castaldo. Said, you know, if you do that, you know, the game catches up to you pretty quickly, and there's no one more level-headed than Jordan Castaldo out there on the field for the Maple Leafs. 2-2. Can Garces get Castaldo and be through 8 strong? His 2-2 pitch. Up and in, full count.
Quick pitched him too. High heat, quick pitch inside.
Castaldo also had a coach, he said in one of the words of wisdom, he said, is that, you know, the bus is always going to come around and pick you up if you kind of keep a level head on your shoulders. The 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. So he has a great at-bat, and he works a walk.
That's just a Jordan Castaldo at-bat if I've ever seen one.
So there you go. So Castaldo strikes out 3 times to start the ball game. You know, hangs in there, keeps a level head, stays to his approach, and there you go. He's able to earn a walk against Garces. Just the second Leaf to do that today. Now it's Marcus Connect. Swings at the first pitch, hits it pretty well to right and gone. Home runs in back-to-back games for Marcus Connect, and we've got a ball game here at Christie Pitts.
They're not dead yet. Maple Leafs, they have been relying on the home run all postseason long. Connect goes oppo taco, and just down by 2.
Listen, that's a great swing by Marcus Connect. He destroyed that baseball. He took it the other way. It was perfect. But none of that happens if Jordan Castaldo doesn't work that walk against Frank Garces and come in to score on that great swing by Marcus Connect. 5-3 game here in the bottom of the 8th.
And it was curious to see who was going to possibly warm up here, and it looks like Sano is getting loose.
So this is just the situation for the Barrie Baycats. They have to win this ball game. They don't win this ball game, season's over. Carlos Sano, who threw nearly 40 pitches a couple days ago, he's the guy.
Yep.
He's the guy for the Barrie Baycats. You got to go to him.
The question is, obviously you got to play for it today, but if Barrie are able to come through tomorrow, it's going to be a tough pitching day for them.
He comes into this game. He is not available tomorrow. The 1-1 from Mara. And if he is, it'll be, he'll be battling. He'll be really battling.
A lot.
One and 2 on Justin Mara, who had a heroic swing a couple at-bats ago. Big swing there. Garces got him. He gets through 8 innings, celebrates on his way back to the Barrie Baycat dugout, but the Maple Leafs have made this thing a lot more interesting. A 2-run home run from Marcus Connect, and it's a 5-3 lead now for Barrie. Marek Deska back on the mound for the Maple Leafs, and boy, the scoreless innings that he's been able to work so far looming larger and larger as the Maple Leafs tighten the gap in this ballgame. Now the top of the 9th, and Barrie could really use some insurance runs because, tomorrow's game may just hinge on whether or not the Barrie Baycats are forced to use Carlos Sano today. And if they can get some runs here, they probably don't need them. Or maybe you send Garces back out there. I don't know. The 0-1. Gary Doyle fouls it off.
Yeah, I know. If they do end up using Sano, I think either way he's going to be pitching in that game tomorrow. It just comes down to what shape are you getting him in? Are you getting him in with a rested arm? Or are you getting him in with, throwing 60 pitches roughly in the last 2 games?
Here's the 0-2. I think if Jordan Castaldo doesn't work that long, what was it, 7-8 pitch walk?
This is a different story.
Yeah. 1-2. Fisted towards short. Ross comes over, makes the running catch. But Gary Doyle retired.
And the difference is here, you've given the fans that are here still battling through the elements of this game a chance and some life. The Maple Leafs, they understand you're within striking distance. You get the first base runner on, the tying run's at the plate.
Brandon Hernandez to the dish now. This is the toughest test for Marek Deska, facing 1-2-3. He's got one. Now can he get the Hernandez brothers? First pitch just a bit inside.
Yeah, these two have been dominant so far in this ball game.
Pitch number 40 from Deska.
Yeah, he's almost at that century mark. Looks like Greg Carrington's warming up over there in the bullpen.
It was a big deal for Greg Carrington just to, get qualified for the playoffs. That was a goal of his. 2 on the ground. Mara bobbles it. And as he picks it up, can't make the play. It was going to have to be a tough one. It was kind of slicing away from his body, but he kind of taps his chest and says, "My bad," to Marek Deska. Not sure. That could probably get scored as an infield hit.
It'll be interesting to see if Hernandez, Brandon that is stealing. Again, insurance run so big here for Barrie.
Well, Francisco has really swung the bat well today. 2 for 4. He's driven in a run, but the 2 times they've got him have been via the strikeout. Here's the 0-1. On the ground, into the outfield for a base hit. The Hernandez brothers are aboard. 2 on here in the 9th, and this is the first bit of trouble that the Baycats have been able to generate against Marek Deska. Luis Florentino, he's not getting loose. He's just kind of overseeing and making sure that Greg Carrington doesn't get hit with any kind of a line drive down there. He obviously
just keep the joints loose.
Yeah, he's obviously not in play for this game today. I don't know if there would have ever been a situation today where Florentino would have pitched. He pitched an inning and 2/3, just over 40 pitches a couple days ago. Very similar to what Carlos Sano did. Nolan Macabroda now, and this one's inside.
This is the guy you want to get if you're Marek Deska. Really, the Maple Leaf killer has been the man on deck, Tristan Clark. He's having another solid game here today.
Macabroda still looking for that first hit of the playoffs. Takes a strike. Perfectly located fastball from Deska, and it's 1-1. And if
Big
Deska
moments.
can make a pitch in a good spot, which he's done quite a bit, well, Macabroda could be a double play candidate as well.
Just got to get something on the ground here. Deska, he has the stuff.
On the ground, off the glove of Castaldo. It ricochets into the outfield. They're going to send the runner home. An insurance run for the Baycats. Nolan Macabroda able to drive him in. That'll probably go down as his first hit of the playoffs, and it's 6-3 Baycats.
Yeah, that's just a bullet, really, just to the right side of the infield. Castaldo got a glove to it, just couldn't get more, and yeah, it's a big time insurance run.
Yeah, Marek Deska got the ground ball. In fact, he got the ground ball 2 times in a row, but just wasn't hit quite in the right spot. So Greg Carrington is going to come into this game and try and get the Maple Leafs out of the 9th. First pitch from Greg Carrington gets a swing and a miss from Tristan Clark. I'll start Carrington's outing here in the 9th. Comes into quite a sticky situation. 1 out. Runners on the corners. This one's popped up, straight up on the infield. And it's Ross who makes the catch. Not the easiest play to make when that ball's hit so high, and the Maple Leafs have a chance to get out of this 9th inning with just the 1 run scored by Barrie.
Yeah, good job by Carrington to come into a ball game, understand, hey, just throw strikes. You know, whatever happens, happens, and does just that and gets a big time out number 2.
This is Noah Hull now. Two outs, runners on the corners for the Baycats. Carrington delivers strike 1. This is the first playoff appearance for Greg Carrington as a pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here's the 0-1 pitch. On the ground to first. Castaldo snares it. That'll end the 9th inning. What a job by Greg Carrington to come in, not only get the 2 outs he needed to get, but also strand a runner at third base. And is that Carlos Sano you're pointing at there, Zach? Yeah, it looks like Carlos Sano is coming into this ball game. We'll have that when we come back. A 3-run lead for Barrie. Maple Leafs down to their final 3 outs. Dennis DeBanning leading things off for the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Carlos Sano has entered this game for the Barrie Baycats. His first pitch to Dennis. On the ground to first. Macabrota has it, and he'll step on the bag, and that's a big out number 1.
Yeah, it looked like DeBanning just wanted to get up there and try to get on Sano quickly, and a little bit late of a swing, and smart by Macabrota over at first. Drop down to a knee, make sure you block it no matter what.
I mean, Carlos Sano doesn't throw that many pitches here. That might change the plans tomorrow, pitching-wise for Barrie. Spencer Ross with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Strike 1.
I mean, words can't describe how good of a pitching performance it was for Frank Garces. I mean, he was just tremendous.
Yeah, that word describes it.
Tremendous, sensational. I don't know what other word you can use.
1-1 now on Spencer Ross.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Mentioned it before, but Ross, Mara, and Boscarino, the only players that haven't struck out in this Maple Leafs lineup. Here's the 1-1. On the ground, diving stop at second by Hernandez. Gets up, throws to first in time. Oh, what a play. 2 outs.
Might be one of the best plays we've seen. I mean, lays completely out for it, snags it, and makes a bullet of a throw to first base.
That really puts a damper on the Maple Leafs' plans here in the bottom of the 9th. Baycats 1 out away from forcing Game 5.
These Hernandez brothers, man, they have been so good all night long. Wow, what a play.
Francisco, a couple hits, great defensive play. Sano's only thrown 6 pitches. The 1-0 to Mara. Low. I mean, Dan Mara's got to know the plan here. You gotta get as deep into this at bat as you can. Obviously, try and get on base, but you've got to make Sano throw a couple pitches here in the bottom of the 9th. Up and in.
So, partner, I thought Sano was wearing high socks. No, he's just wearing tights underneath the pants.
Cool.
I don't think I've ever seen that out of a player.
I like it.
I respect it.
3-0 on Mara. Got to be taken here. Ball 4. Gets the first 2 batters in quick order and then a 4-pitch walk to Mara.
If you can somehow get this to Javier or Casaldo, things can get pretty spicy here, but it all comes down to these next 2 batters, Boscarino and Dos Santos.
Yeah, the tying run still standing on the on-deck circle. That's Ryan Dos Santos. First, Luca Boscarino's got to keep the line moving. Strike taken by Boscarino. The 0-1. Boscarino chops one on the ground. Could be a tough play. Odd has it. Throws to first in time. The Baycats win Game 4, and we will play Game 5 tomorrow night in Barrie.
Well, the Baycats, they were on their last life, and they went to the one man they know they can trust in Frank Garces, and what a game it was for him. I mean, and again, spectacular outing for the starting pitcher from the side of the Barrie Baycats, and backs against the walls, they held their own. They're going to be in Barrie tomorrow night.
That is going to be a heck of a game tomorrow. Barrie just needing 2 pitches to shut down the Toronto Maple Leafs, who just get 3 runs on the 4 hits. The Baycats, 6 runs on 9 hits, some 2-run innings in the 5th and 6th sealed the deal for them. Carlos Sano comes in, he'll get the save. It's the Baycats who win 3-0. For myself, Thomas West, as well as Zach Benoit, thanks so much for tuning in, and see you tomorrow night in Barrie.